Y'all niggas is like these kids today type niggas.
2.
Back in my day, we had a fucking.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Shinobi. Goddamn, niggas. 5, 4, 3. What's going on? It's your boy Shinobi Gaines in the building. We back with another one. Similar cast. I guess we kind of just rotating now at this point. But Lucy's back. Y'all know him from as Brian from the last episode. Problem is always Taurus decided to show up again today, so
appreciate you coming, Taurus.
Hey, I'm back to it, man.
We thankful for his presence again.
Yes, indeed.
And of course, I'm here as always. But you know, a lot of shit's been going on.
Crazy times, man.
We dropping the episode a little bit earlier than usual. Just, you know, with the times, figure we might as well address these things as they're current, as they're fresh. But before we get into that, you know, always check in. Ryan, how's the stocks been going? You up a little bit?
Yeah, we can get into it later.
Oh, you're not trying to touch that? Okay.
No.
Well, how's your girl let you come back to the pod today?
Listen to you, man. Yeah.
He said, listen to you, man.
Came back. Yep.
She's like, okay. Matt, the problem. What's popping? Brand new whip?
No, same one actually.
How's it going? How's the week treating you?
It's cool. Busy. It's been busy at work this week.
They working here like.
And I got my summer tires on, and it snowed the other day, so I was a little nervous about coming in this morning.
Well, it was like
snow.
a half an inch.
Yeah, but my summer tires are like slicks.
Oh, I got you.
You know, if there's snow on the ground, I'm not moving.
Sound like you're from Texas or something. It's like
North Carolina,
half an inch.
Texas, they went crazy when that snowed, but it was foul. What was going on? Like
bad.
they just, but I'd be going to Cali and Texas. I'd be like, damn, their roofs is a little like on crack out here. You know what I'm saying? Like they really not tripping on the condition of their roofs because it never rains, it never snows.
Right. They ain't prepared for it neither. That's why
it's
such a big deal.
Think about
no salt or nothing.
The foundation wasn't built for that shit. So when Texas had all the pipes and shit burst, I just never even thought about that.
Crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
What's going on with you, Taurus?
Man, ain't nothing to it, man. Just been chilling.
I see you probably didn't. You didn't show up because it was Easter, huh? Last time.
Nah, I don't give a fuck about no Easter.
Just wanted.
Hey, I wanted to be here, but unfortunately I couldn't be here. But I'm back now, so. Let's get it on. Let's get it on.
Wasn't the last time Valentine's Day? He said the same thing. I didn't give a fuck about Valentine's Day. You know?
Is that what it was? Was it Valentine's Day?
Yeah, it was Valentine's Day. The last time you missed too.
Yeah. Oh, let's be clear. Fuck Valentine's Day. Fuck Easter.
That's crazy.
Fuck 4th of July. Fuck Christmas.
That's gonna be the next one, 4th of July. He ain't gonna be here. And 2 weeks later, he gonna be like, fuck 4th of July. Man,
fuck every holiday.
Any holidays you do
just so you know, fuck them all. Every one of them.
Fuck New Year's.
Fuck New Year's.
What you mean fuck New Year's?
Fuck Thanksgiving. Fuck them all.
He said, hold up, bro.
You can say Thanksgiving. That's fine, but
like I said, fuck every holiday. I don't give a fuck.
Well, you know,
I stand on that.
Typical Taurus shit.
On that note,
feel how y'all niggas feel.
Anyways, y'all can probably see Shinobi's in the building.
How you feeling, man? What's good with you? You straight? You got your Russell Westbrook shit going on? What do we have going on here? Who the fuck is you?
This is probably, I'd say, maybe Miami Gaines after maybe closing a deal. You know what I mean? Successful night type shit. You know what I mean? So
that's the best you came up with. Okay.
And you wore that for us?
We'll go with that. We're going to go with that.
I wore it for me.
Well, we know who we wore it for, but we won't talk about the names and shit. I
wore it for me.
He's watching though.
I'm just taking this opportunity to give, you know, you can step out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And you can still be in your lane at the same time. Does that make sense?
Just make sure you don't have to always wear. These folks is watching, so go ahead.
You don't have to always wear jeans and a gray shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey man, do what you like, man. You feel me? Handle your business. You want to wear the,
Anyways, I'm
old 85-year-old woman shirts, then handle your business. It's cool with me. I have no problem with it. I don't judge niggas.
I know somebody who like it.
I think my grandpa.
As long as motherfuckers like it.
Matt's trying to get a joke. Matt's trying to get a joke.
See, now he's gonna ruin the joke. I was gonna say, I think my grandma had wallpaper that looked like that back in the day.
Type shit. Yeah. That's it.
But now it's not funny though. He just ruined it. See, he did it on purpose.
My grandma had a couch.
That niggas hate.
A couch
like
that
that?
looked like
I can't. I had to block all of that.
We can
shit.
keep going on with that shit, but yeah.
Anyways, my week is cool. Obviously, we know what's going on around the city. It's right in my backyard, damn near, right down 5 minutes down the road. Protests and shit. But other than that, getting back to work. You know what I'm saying? Son had surgery. Daughter turned 1. Everything's going smooth as of now.
Let's go with your son.
Yeah, he had adenoids removed. So it's crazy because do you know what adenoids is?
Yeah.
I didn't know what the fuck adenoids was until I had.
For the people that don't know.
I still don't really know. I guess it's like something to do with your tonsils too, but it's like your breathing.
Sinuses.
It's like tissue, like for breathing or something, and it can get too big, and eventually they go away as you get older or something like that. But
a lot of times kids have like snoring issues and things like that, and they'll get them removed.
But he got his removed because he had a strap, right?
he didn't have strep. No, we just kept noticing that like he would be breathing as he eats, like he's out of breath. You know what I mean? Like he'd be holding his breath while he's eating and chewing, and then once he finally swallowed, he'd be like, like.
Oh, see, I got mine removed because I kept getting strep. That's why.
He got a couple ear infections but that stopped. You know what I mean? But it's more so the breathing and the snoring. You know what I mean? And we felt like it was affecting his sleep. And then I did some research that said it affects speech development when they're young. You know what I mean? So we noticed he ain't been talking a ton, and it's funny we had the surgery and now he's saying words and shit. You know what I mean? So
what's up.
it's weird. Like
his voice changed at all? I feel like my voice changed a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
How old was you when you got it?
How old was I? I think I was. You'd have to ask my mom. I want to say I was like 5 to 7 range in there.
Oh, that old? Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, he's good. You know, I can smell his wound in his fucking head. It's weird.
That's crazy.
I can smell it. It's like if you've ever like had a nasty scab or some shit, and you can smell that shit when you take a Band-Aid off. It's nasty.
That's crazy.
But daughter turned 1. She's like a little bean. She like 6 months looking. You know, she looked like she 5-6 months walking around. Turned 1. So that's good.
It's big time.
Other than that, man, I'm just living life. Dressing nice. You know what I'm saying? But got a lot of stuff to talk about. This is episode 8.
8.
Right, yeah.
Check us out on YouTube. Obviously, like and subscribe. We on all of the podcasts. Which podcasts? What's the big ones to listen to for audio?
Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. I think those are like the big ones, and there's like a bunch of small ones we're on too.
We on all of that. Aim for the bushes. So just make sure y'all stay into them, because it's people are liking what's going on, and shit's just kind of naturally developing, you know. But
check that motherfucker out.
Coming in straight from the prestigious Minneapolis, Minnesota, home
biggest.
of what do we got here? I always,
the legends.
You do some research, got some new ones.
Trend-setting Minneapolis. I actually don't got any new ones. Purple Rain, Prince.
Yeah, we could probably keep it short and sweet. The ones that need to be
Mighty
mentioned.
Ducks, Mall of America,
Prince,
George Floyd.
Y'all niggas know what it is.
Protests.
Look that shit up.
Mayo Clinic. You know what I'm saying? Now we got
we can sit here all day.
Now we got Daunte Wright.
Yeah.
The latest.
You know what I mean? So the protest is going crazy down the street. So that, the one thing that's crazy about Minneapolis is I feel like we at the forefront of like the change in the country right now on racial issues, which is crazy. Even though it's like we're having more of these issues, which would save more. Hold on, keep that. Yep. Both of y'all tag team.
Red carpet, bro.
I don't know.
We can talk. Yeah, we can get.
Maybe need to get some stickier stuff on the back of this.
Maybe so. But anyways, we're at the forefront of the change, but I don't know if that says something about Minnesota, like what's actually happening here.
Right, good or bad?
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate. Obviously, these things keep happening so close to home. But at the same time, I think it also speaks volumes about the people that live here, willing to...
People really willing to step
put
out.
Put their foot down and step up. Because, it might not be like that in other places.
I don't think it's... Really, we kicked off all the protests in, the summer last year, when everybody was protesting around the world. Minneapolis kicked that off.
Yeah.
So that says something about our people. But I do also think that we actually have a high amount of these cases, you know what I mean? These high profile cases where it's minority and cops. I mean, I think we got about 5 or 6 high profile ones, right?
Yeah, I mean,
in the last few years. I mean,
within the last 5
Castile,
years.
Yeah, you can name 3
George
up
Floyd
top.
and this one too. I think are 3 of the bigger ones that have been.
There's
like
more
you said,
than that. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying high
Yeah, those,
profile.
I mean, those
that
are
have
off the
been-
top of your head, though.
Yeah.
Those are the
Those are
biggest
like
ones off
3,
the top of the head. Yeah. So we got a lot, man, and this is a lot to talk about. Today's, I think, is gonna be more on a serious note. We'll try to keep it G. You know what I'm saying?
all the time.
As per usual, I've been saying that a lot lately. Per usual.
Yeah, you gotta get off that. But how y'all niggas feeling right now about this shit? Ryan, how you feeling, man?
Yeah, you know, it's been a crazy couple of days. I mean, I live about a mile from here, and like David was saying, it's, you know, a couple blocks from what's going on. I live right by the Brooklyn Park police station, so I mean, there's been sirens pretty much all night. The last 3 nights now.
Yeah, it's been going on since Monday.
Yeah, since Monday.
Well, Sunday,
Sunday
night, really.
night.
Yeah. You know, we had curfews put in place for all the surrounding towns and stuff. But I mean, obviously, this it's a little different when it's so close to home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's terrible regardless of the area. But I think
Was you surprised to see another one of these happen? Not even less than a fucking year since
You know,
the last shit.
Yeah, you know, Taurus, that might be the craziest thing for me. Is it's almost like we've become conditioned to these kind of things happening. You know what I'm saying? Which is terrible, right? You know, it's like it happens. It's almost
Not
like
conditioned though.
Well, it's, you know, you're not surprised when it happens. You know.
Stay away from the word condition, please.
Getting too close to that
Programmed.
programmed word. Yeah.
Oh,
Please
shit.
don't do that.
Getting too close to that programmed
It's funny
word.
because now when I hear that word, they've been saying it on like CNN
Yeah,
and shit.
and
like-
you rethinking this shit now, don't you?
No, I still believe. I know what I'm saying when I say it. I think you.
I know
have-
what you're saying.
I think
I
you
know
have
what they're saying.
a thing where you need to be in control. But we're not gonna, because we've been doing
It's
this
just-
every time you're here.
I don't want to do it every time.
It's just
but
David's way of telling you that he's thinking about you.
thinking about you.
No. Because you
nah.
keep hearing the word on the news is what he's saying, and it's, I mean,
You think I'm being programmed to say program?
Yeah.
kind of
Well, you can use whatever like terminology
conditioned
you
to be
want.
conditioned.
You can use whatever terminology you want, but it's just like when these things happen, it's nothing's changed, right? So it's like when these things happen, it's like, well, obviously these things are going to continue to happen. So that's kind of where I'm at. But yeah, when it's this close
We're
to
becoming numb to it.
home, there's a good word you can
Yeah,
use. Yeah,
it's becoming
sure.
like
Yeah.
the normal. So we
Yeah.
just kind of, we're not
Yeah.
so surprised when it
Yeah.
happens because it's just the way of life, and it happens, and same type of shit, same result.
It's crazy because, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, there's so many different dynamics happening with these cases.
Yeah.
Like, even though they're all like the same, they're not the same, but it's same.
It's you definitely have
scenario.
comparisons to you can attach
But they're also
different elements to
different at
every
the
one.
same time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's a little interesting. One thing I wanted to talk about, and we could just kind of. We're already. It's like
Let's
we're
get
already,
right into
it's
it.
like
yeah.
we're already
yeah,
into
it's
it.
at the top
So
of the brain anyway.
I was gonna say, like, and then I'll piggyback this into Matt. So what I'm interested to see what happens with the media and the public. This is the first time, I believe, in Minnesota at least, where this is happening to a minority, but the minority's mother is white, and she's the face of like kind of the pain.
I
right
got
now.
you.
You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
So
thought
It's a
about
different
that.
angle.
Yeah.
so I'm interested to see just what the reaction from the system is. You know what I mean? And how the media does its
Yeah.
part, and because I do think it's gonna play a part.
But I thought about that, and then I thought like, well, her son is black though, so it's like I feel that it almost needs to be a white woman with her white son getting killed for that to be the case, for that to play a part in it. Because I almost don't know if it's going to really make a difference. Maybe it will make some difference, but
I think it makes
I
a
feel
difference.
like-
It's different. It's
yeah,
different.
it is different. Yeah,
I think it makes a difference because obviously, rest in peace to Daunte, but he's not here right now. So the face of the pain is the parents, you know, his loved ones, his son. His son is a baby, but his mother is doing all the media, the speaking. You know what I'm saying? The dad's doing kind of some of the speaking with her, but not as much, you know? She's become the face. I'm kind of seeing her face everywhere.
Yeah.
And I just think that we haven't had that yet in these scenarios where the person that is hurt right now from this is
that's a difference, is what you're saying, compared to previous situations or scenarios.
Yes, it's a white person now. Yes, Daunte Wright is mixed, and we know that when you're mixed African American white, you're perceived as African American.
Right.
Which is another thing, you know what I mean? But that is what it is. I don't know if that will ever change. You know what I mean? But
it is important though. That is important that that's the case.
Do you think it will affect the justice aspect?
It's hard to say. I hope it will, because and I hate that it has to be this way for the justice to.
I was gonna say, it kind of sucks to say, because you kind of hope it doesn't affect it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
because it had to be this
no
for it to change, you know. And either way, change is definitely necessary, but I really don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I think it'll have an impact on it. It's just something that I thought about.
We're gonna be watching it real close. I definitely thought about it.
It's something that I thought about it, and seeing her, you know, she's in some interviews, you could tell she was already like afraid for her son, because she was on the call when the stop happened. You know, she's like, just do whatever they say. You know, you could tell she's already aware. Mm-hmm. She's not black, but her kids are, you know, and that's a whole nother thing, you know. When
another layer.
Yep. And so that's why I was gonna, you know, pitch it to Matt here. So like, what's your thoughts on this? Do you have talks with your son? You know what I mean?
I haven't yet. I don't think they're old enough to yet to really understand. He's only 7, you know, so he's not really quite there where he.
Oh, he's there.
Is he even gonna be dealing with it? You think?
I don't know. He's my kids are super light skinned. So, I mean, maybe to the point when they were young, they like asked their mom why she was not the same color.
Bro, Daunte Wright is super light skinned.
He was.
True.
Yeah.
It's not too far off. You know what I'm saying? So, I think he's lighter than your kids, probably.
He might be. He's got a little more.
Was he lighter than you?
You what?
Yeah, he's lighter than Dave.
I don't know if he was that much lighter than me.
Yeah, bro. What you talking about? I'm caramel, bro. Let's not even get into
that. Let's stay on track.
But what's your thoughts on it? Being a parent too, like, are you afraid? Do you have these concerns? Do you have these worries? Is it different because you're a man, do you think?
That's definitely different because I'm a man. I don't.
And you're a man, and you probably haven't had to deal or had to feel that kind of fear.
It depends. You get treated a little differently when you dress the way I do and stuff like that too. It's not anywhere near the same, but you still have that sort of slight apprehension.
Like, there's stigmas against
right. I'm not trying to make it seem like I understand, but it's you know, it's a little bit different than being out in Maple Grove, you know.
But
kind of situation.
I think they may look at you differently, but I also don't think they're not looking at you to take your life, though. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. No,
they're like, oh, you know, punk white kid, he's falling, you know, a little farther from the tree or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I feel what you're saying.
They don't have those little fears and shit they keep.
Yeah, no. I mean, for my kids, it's like I said, they're really young, so I haven't really had to think about it much.
Right. But do you feel like now? I mean, do you feel like you got to have these conversations now?
Oh, no, I planned on having the conversations at some point. I just, you know, when they were old enough to kind of be on their own, so where they might have to deal with that situation on their own.
I personally think you got to tell them, if you got a boy, for sure, you got to tell them ASAP, because I just think in black culture in general, like, parents, whoever's in the house, they're parenting that shit immediately, like, you know, not to get in trouble, don't fuck with the cops type shit.
That's the other thing, too, is you don't really want to... I was going to use that word again. You don't really want to...
Yeah. Go ahead, use it.
Okay,
you
don't
because I'll say you don't want to. You don't want to program them to have that apprehension from the get-go. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to make them scared from the jump. Like, you want them to be aware of the situation, but you don't want them to have to, like, as soon as they get into that situation, their first instinct is fear.
Yeah.
Because then that's when shit starts going left.
It kind of makes me think about the movie we watched in the beginning, like one of the first couple episodes that we did.
American Skin.
American Skin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The son was kind of like, no, I got my rights. I'm American. Blah blah blah. And Dad had to have that conversation with him. Probably that was the first time he had it with him.
Right. And that was too late.
Which I think that was probably too late. Yeah, you know what I mean. So he did.
As I said, as soon as he's able to like go to like the park on his own, you know.
I feel it. Times have changed because I was definitely at the park by myself around like 5, 6. You know what I mean?
That's young.
It be some kids still.
I was out running.
My daughter's
around.
5. I couldn't imagine her being somewhere by herself.
Oh, my kids won't. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely
Kids
was.
running around the streets at night.
I remember when
9, 10 o'clock. I'm like, man.
3rd grade.
5 years old,
out
4 years
past
old.
dark. You know what I'm saying? Back then, you was thinking about curfew and shit. Like, remember that?
It's
Curfew.
crazy.
We got curfews. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
She had it on our fridge.
Shit has changed.
While we got that, what do you guys feel about curfew? Like this shit. Like, what's the?
I don't like this shit.
Stupid.
I mean, I think it's just they have to do something. I think it's just really for like the masses, and honestly, not for anything, but I think it's more or less maybe not directed towards the people who are protesting, the people who are involved in this, but for everybody else. Like, look, we're instructing, yeah, because businesses are closing, restaurants are closing. You know, people are off the, driving on the streets and stuff like that. Like, hey, if you're going to go to a neighbor's house or a friend's house, just be home. I think it's really more geared towards them.
I don't. I think it's geared towards the police. I think it's geared towards, like, their workload. Because obviously they have to have a ton of fucking officers at the police department.
That's probably part of it, too.
I think we're saying the same thing. They don't have to, everything else, they want to shut down everything else so that they can put all of their emphasis and power on, or But
that doesn't do me any favors.
No. I'm not saying it does, but I think you and I are really saying the same thing.
We're saying the same thing, but it's different. It's different.
I think the curfew the other night, for example, Monday. I think it was Monday night. They had like the 6 p.m. curfew. People were out protesting for the entire night, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of those people weren't necessarily arrested because they were protesting.
Some of them were,
but not because they were protesting, because they felt like people were getting out of hand, right?
That's tomato.
Yeah, okay. Well, but there was still a bunch of people out protesting. They told them, like, hey, go home. But they weren't, they were still out there, so I think they just put that in place, but I don't think they really think that people are going to.
I get worried with these curfews because I feel like they're programming us to be comfortable with the idea of curfews. I get the feeling, I don't know who brought it up to me, but it's been in my head ever since, and I think a part of society worries about this, whoever's into like conspiracies and stuff, is that this is all kind of similar activity to like Nazi Germany. You know what I mean? Like getting rid of the guns, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of happening right now on the underline while all this is happening.
Not really.
It is happening. Biden's introducing new laws.
They're not getting rid of the guns.
It's not like they're getting rid of guns, but slowly but surely
they won't get rid of the guns.
We're losing more rights with firearms. That's a fact. It's happening. You can't buy fully automatic arms anymore. There's definitely more hoops to jump through, which some of that stuff I think is a good thing.
Yeah. But
my fear is that eventually it's going to get to the point over time where you might not even be able to carry a pistol unless you're a perfect citizen or you high class. You know what I mean? And
so you think the curfews are in line with that, like trying to?
I think curfew's not in line with the firearms, but I think it's in line with like we're getting. When in my life, I've never in my life have. No. Is this a Minneapolis thing or Minnesota?
Seen
I've never seen a curfew ever.
Yeah.
I think they've had them in other instances where there's been like protests and stuff like that.
I don't know, bro.
It's kind of a unique situation. There really hasn't been a whole lot of protests.
When the Ferguson one happened in St. Louis, I'm pretty sure.
Did they have curfews?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same deal though. I mean, it's not like a hard stance. Like, look, if you're out past 10, you're going to be arrested on spot. You know what I'm saying? I think it's.
They just shouldn't be telling us. We really shouldn't be told we have a curfew ever. To be honest,
I feel like if you give them that power, they're gonna realize they have that power and they will exercise it at other times.
Yeah,
maybe You know what I'm saying? They already did it with COVID. They did
Yeah.
it with the pandemic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stay in the house.
Yeah.
Now we got curfews for riots.
They seen
you know what I'm
people
saying?
comply with the shit, so they said, "Oh, now we see what we could do."
I hate that word. Like he hates programmed. I hate that power word. I hate that
Power?
word. Power. I hate that word.
Why you hate that word?
Because it's made up.
It's a real word.
Yeah, but it's still like, I mean, in the instance that you're talking about is made up. Like, I mean, judges, police officers, all them, they're like us sitting here on the couch. They're just
Now,
people,
power
you know what I
is
mean?
not always negative, by the way. I think it's
No. I know. I just meant in that aspect. I hate
We're
when,
giving them-
I hate when people think that a human has more power than another human. I hate that.
But we're giving
Yeah,
whoever
I
is
agree with you.
setting the curfew the authority to do that.
I got you.
We're-
No, it's not that I wanted you to change the word. I'm just saying I hate that aspect of that's a thing that people think that somebody on top of them should have authority or power over them.
Society.
It's like a different.
Yeah.
It's a
Civilization.
different topic, but
Yeah.
it just
civilization.
Yes, a whole
triggered me.
like supremacists. I don't call them nobody. No, nobody's a supremacist. It is no supremacist. Niggas is fake supremacists. You want to be. So I don't like that word.
Speaking of that, Derek actually told me today there's something pretty cool on, I think, Amazon Prime or Netflix called Kill the Brutes or some shit.
Oh,
Documentary?
terminate all the brutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking
I heard about
about-
it. I haven't watched it yet. It's
talks
on. I
about
think it's on HBO.
How white supremacy is supposed to begin and
Yeah.
like different like civilizations and
It's on Prime.
what's it
I think it's
colonizing.
HBO. Yeah, colonization.
Max.
Yeah.
So
I didn't hear about
maybe
this.
we check that out. No, but yeah, I just curfews, man. It really gets me start thinking like I'm one of them people like you telling me I can't do this. What's you gonna tell me I can't do next? You know.
Gotcha.
So that it kind of gets me. I feel that certain way, and I'm always thinking worst case scenario.
Let me ask you this because we had this conversation before we got on air, talking about. Is it more or less that you don't like that they are making decisions for you, or you think that they don't have like your best interest, the best interest in mind? You know, like we were talking about earlier with the mask stuff. You know, when they force you to wear a mask, you think it's like, look, I don't like how you're trying to dictate what I can and can't do, or is it like I don't think that what you're telling me to do it has my best interest in mind?
It's a combination.
It's
of
a
shit for
combination.
me.
To
I would say
me-
it's different because with that, if I don't think what they're telling me has my best interest in mind, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. So you're just not going to listen to
For
them.
me, it's
Right.
undermining my ability to take
Think on
care
your
of
own.
myself.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hold up. Well, what is this? Is this a daycare? You know what I'm saying? What is this, an old folks home? Like,
Yeah.
I know what the fuck I'm doing out here. I done got through 30,
Right.
smooth.
And a lot of this shit, like they're not laws really. So it's like, what are you gonna do?
Right.
This is not a law, nigga.
I definitely have authority issues. Definitely.
Oh, yeah. I'm the same way, 100%.
So I'm not one of those people that I don't feel comfortable when I'm not giving the option to make my own choice.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. So it's a combination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just general. You're not going to tell me what to do.
Yeah, that's why I really don't think the curfew's directed towards. I don't know. I mean, it's just my opinion, but
Directed towards what?
I just think I think they really do it that way. It forces businesses to close. It gets the people that will take direction. And you know what? Okay, yeah, we should be home, so I'm gonna stay home.
Well, you
And
notice,
on top of that, we remember the Thanksgiving shit. These motherfuckers was trying to say, hey, you can only have this many people. That's when it was out of order.
Yeah.
They told us you can only have this amount of people in your house. That was reaching to the max.
That's
There's
what I'm
no
saying.
way.
How they're not going to be able to police that.
Yeah,
You know,
but
I'm not
don't
going to use the word police. They're not
don't
going to be
even
able to
get on
regulate
TV
that. You know?
and tell me that
Yeah.
though. It's like, don't say that shit
Yeah.
and tell us to our face while we watching you on TV that we're not gonna listen to you. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, don't even put that out there. Don't try to punk us around and say y'all niggas gotta have a limited amount of people in your household. I've never heard no shit like that. I don't care what's going on.
That's why I say, you know what I'm saying? It's just like how it is with relationships, you know? You give a female an inch, they'll take a mile eventually.
Yeah.
That's
That's
true.
true.
I don't care what nobody say, that's
It is
true.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
look, what is it now? It's 10 now, right? But it's 10:01.
Yeah, so
You
we
know.
You gotta
breaking-
be up out of here, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You can't stay long,
That's what I'm
right?
saying. It's like I really don't think it's directed towards us. Is what I'm saying. I think they're just trying to do something to keep the mass. You know,
It's
forcing
different
people.
curfews in different cities.
That's the other thing.
Because
too,
I believe
yeah.
the Brooklyn Center, it was weird because I was in Brooklyn Center. The curfew was 10 o'clock. That's where the protests are happening.
Yeah.
I was in Brooklyn Park. the protests are 8 p.m.
Curfew.
Yeah. And I don't know what it was. I think I stepped in Champlin maybe for a second.
Brooklyn Parks was 10 tonight, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
Brooklyn Parks was 10.
Tonight,
they said it was 9
tonight,
yesterday,
but yesterday
right?
it was 8. You know what I'm saying? So they're like
Yeah.
all over the board.
They're sitting there all
Yesterday
over.
I had to drive to Maple Grove because shit was shut down here. I had to drive somewhere else to get food. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, they had all the shit closed.
So anyways, man, just don't like it, you know what I'm saying? So I just kind of figured out what you guys got. I think we'll stay on topic here. Let's just, I guess everybody knows what's going on. I think everybody that's going to be watching our pod knows what's going on. Obviously, Daunte Wright, I'm saying that right? Daunte Wright is, he's gone, rest in peace. 20-year-old. Pulled over, traffic stop for, I don't know if it's clear or not. They keep coming out with what? Tabs, air fresheners.
Yeah.
What's
Warrant.
the official report on it?
I don't know. I'm hearing all
I
three.
thought what I
Can you
heard.
pull it up, Matt?
Yeah.
See what
I thought what I heard
Let me
was
get
the
that
latest.
carpet.
The mother
Let me
says
get that
that
carpet, Ryan.
he told her it was the air fresheners was what initially what he was told.
I thought what I heard. The
Go ahead.
car was just bought, so
Yeah.
it doesn't. You know how like when you get a car, how you don't have like your license and tabs right away.
Yeah.
You got the little like yellow thing. This is just what the
I think
latest
you
I heard.
mixing it up with that Virginia nigga who got pulled over.
No, but I'm saying, and then
That-
once they
that
pulled
was
him
it.
over,
Yeah.
they found that he had a warrant out for his arrest. Because I know the warrant that's already been fact checked. But the reason why he was initially pulled over, I think, is the only thing that we.
Well, I did see the warrant was due to some unpaid tickets. So
Yeah.
you'll get a warrant for shit like that. I
Some
mean,
petty-
it's nonsense.
Yeah.
And so
Expired plates, there you go.
They're saying expired plates.
Yeah, expired tabs, basically.
Yeah, so he had expired tabs, and then once they pulled him over, they found out
he had the warrant.
he had the warrant out, and the warrant was given to him for he had like just like a small amount of weed on him, like enough for like a.
I don't think that's what the warrant was for.
I think the warrant was
I
about.
checked. The warrant was
No.
for the gun charge and
No.
fleeing.
Yeah, no. Let me finish. So the warrant was for he had a little bit of weed on him. He got like one of those little petty misdemeanor weed tickets, you know, where you got like just a tiny amount on you. And then from what I understand, he couldn't to pay it or whatever. He didn't pay it, or it wasn't paid on time because the ticket was not sent to the right address.
That's all false.
That's false?
That was all bullshit. Yep.
But
Yeah,
basically,
that-
they said it was due to COVID was the reason that the warrant expired, or like that the ticket expired, or whatever.
Everybody says that because that dude came on TikTok and said that or whatever, but that wasn't. He
Who
was.
was that?
He was just after clout. It was all full of shit.
Okay,
So he would.
but it was
I
from a
hate
weed
people that are
ticket,
all
wasn't
clout.
it?
Nah, it was gun possession, illegal gun possession, and fleeing from police is what his.
The
warrant
reason
was
he had
for.
a warrant?
Yeah. He had that.
Did that just come out today?
He had that. No, I think it was a couple of days ago. But it's like I said, everybody's on the TikTok dude, so nobody's actually reading like the actual facts. But
Oh, I thought it was just like a petty.
But listen,
the
the bottom
crazy
line is
thing.
this: the young man is dead now.
Yep.
He should not be dead,
Yep.
and I don't believe
Well, let's walk through how it happened though.
that this bitch accidentally did this shit.
Yeah, let's
So he gets pulled over. This is what I don't understand. They got him in cuffs, and now I'm getting into thinking conspiracies even more. They got this nigga in the cuffs, and I had to really think through this to like
Right.
see like how could this have gotten to this point, right? He pulled him
Yeah.
over. He obviously doesn't know he's being pulled over or what he's being pulled over for.
Right.
First, he probably isn't aware that there's a warrant for him because most people aren't.
No.
Definitely wasn't aware. Right.
Obviously heightened fear from everything that's been going on in Minnesota with
Yeah.
police for the last year.
Yeah.
Get him in cuffs, or I think they pull him out the car and he realizes he's being cuffed. So he's probably terrified. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on, and he gets back
Of
in the
course.
car. And this is going to be a tough conversation that we'll have, but we're going to have it. But anyways, he gets back in the car, resisting. She pulls out what she thinks is a taser, but it's a gun, and
Right.
she shoots him one time. Says, "Oh shit, I shot him," but she's yelling taser, taser, taser like she's got her gun. He drives off. He's dead. We're at where we are now. So yeah, like you said, you don't believe it was an accident. because this is their story, is that it was an accident. She's being officially charged with second-degree manslaughter, which they said typically gets about 5 years, and you serve a few of those.
What is the 10-year maximum, right?
10-year max.
Yeah, and they end up doing 3
About
to 5
yeah.
type shit, right?
Hold up, let me get that. Yeah, I know.
But to be honest, when I first saw the video, the first thing I thought when she was doing all that taser shit, it was like, this bitch knew how to
like she's lying. Like
say the shit just right on camera type shit.
Like she's lying.
Like
yeah.
taser. Oh, I shot him, and then I just felt like it was all an act that she did.
It's so weird. It's like, how could y'all be making these mistakes like this? How could y'all be fucking
That's
up?
what I thought was super weird, because it's really hard to read. Because watching that video, like you said, saying taser, she said that her gun's like out in front of her, like a good grip, like she could see it. You know what I mean?
Well,
But
yeah.
and the other thing is, the taser and the gun are on the opposite sides of the holster usually. Gun's right, taser's
yellow,
left usually.
bright yellow, so you know.
They have the same
or
grip or whatever.
I
Basically,
don't know.
so
Are
I
they
get
yellow
that,
though here?
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe they
I
are.
saw some of
These
them.
ones are.
the like barrels yellow.
These
Right.
ones are.
Well, we know the weight is significantly different,
Right.
no matter what.
The,
The weight is different,
well,
for sure.
Humanly listening to the video, when she said, "Oh shit, I shot him," it almost sounded like legit. But like you said, the taser part was like, that was weird. You know?
But when I heard,
really
"Oh
weird
shit, I
video.
shot him," I thought that was like just like for the camera. Like, let me just
You
say,
thought that was
I
acting
just
too?
thought she was acting that part out. I just didn't believe it.
Well, I think the thing that really kind of got me was, at first reports were like, "Oh, this is a newer officer, right? A new cop," and then we come to find out that she's been with Brooklyn Center for 25 years.
Yeah.
My thing is like, every day for 25 years you've had that same gun on that same hip and that same taser on
Well,
that
let
same
me-
hip, and all of a sudden
Now you forget.
now
where
you
it
forget. Like, how many times do we, honestly, how many times do we think in Brooklyn Center, right? How many times do you think she pulled her gun out?
Probably. And it's not like she
over the
pulled
past
it out,
25 years.
It's not like she pulled it out and pulled the trigger. It sat there for a good minute.
But this is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. How many times
Yeah.
did she pull the gun out versus how many times she pulled the taser out in the last 25 years? Probably a lot, right? Let's be honest.
Well, let me just say this. So slightly off the path, but just growing up in the area, I could tell you for facts, just me dealing with it and family of mine, the police in Brooklyn Center and Brooklyn Park, they do not play no fucking games when it comes to dealing with young black kids. It's worse than Minneapolis. I almost feel like.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
No, I think you're right about that.
Brooklyn
No, it is
Center,
worse.
Brooklyn Park.
Everything outside of Minneapolis is worse.
When it comes to that racist rhetoric and like, you know what I mean?
I joked around about it on the last podcast, like talking about living in Brooklyn Park being white. It's like, I know what you're talking about. It's like, I'm white. I live in Brooklyn Park. I mean, the cops aren't worried about me. You know what I'm saying? They're not.
So I've seen it, and with the kids though, specifically with the kids, because we do, this was a suburb.
Yeah,
it was a suburb,
right?
They're trying to still call it a suburb. It's a very integrated suburb. It is. And where that police station is at is in the hood of the suburb. You know what I mean? So like, there's little pockets all over Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center. 2 blocks down is bad. You know what I'm saying? Then you go 3 blocks that way, we're all gravy. You go a block that way, everything's smooth. You know what I'm saying? But you can still have some shit pop off here and there. And the police, man, they've been. I've seen it from a kid. You know what I mean? So like, over here they don't play that shit, and they definitely have a pattern or a behavior when it comes to dealing with minorities for a fact.
That's consistent.
And
sure.
I think this.
Yeah.
So for me, this is no surprise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's reacting how she's been on this force for 25 years. They've been doing this shit. So she taser getting ready to tase his ass, you know what I'm saying? Like, got the gun out, whatever.
Yeah.
She got her mind in her zone already with that she's used to.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying, is that how many times working the same Brooklyn Center for 25 years, to me it's like, you can't use to say it was an accident.
I can't.
I'm not riding with that.
I can't ride with that shit.
It was an accident when.
I don't even care if it wasn't an
Say,
accident.
even if I was just going to say the same thing. Even if it was, I mean, people have used that analogy where if you're a doctor and you give somebody the wrong medicine and they die, you're fucked.
If I pull out tomorrow and accidentally hit somebody, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be no like, oh, is this gonna happen? I'm definitely getting time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So It's just tough. You know what I mean? It's a tough situation for everybody. My other questions that I have is, how do you think this will affect the Derek Chauvin trial? Is this gonna?
I don't think it will. They've already the defense lawyer, is that the right term?
The defense.
They already tried to claim a mistrial because of it, and the judge was not having it.
They tried to postpone the trial.
Was it postponed?
Yeah, okay. They tried to postpone.
I think he tried. Didn't he try to?
No, he tried to file a motion
for a mistrial.
Acquittal.
Right? Yeah, for an acquittal.
To
right,
say
because
fuck
of a
the
mistrial,
jury
basically.
and let's just acquit it, because he's saying the prosecution failed to prove their case is what he was trying to do. So it doesn't go to the jury.
And the judge wasn't.
That was like his chance
so.
to go ahead and try to do it now, and obviously the judge says no.
As far as like the jury's concerned, it might have a little bit of a impact on him. But.
Yeah, from what I understand, he tried to use the current situation.
It's going to affect the jury.
It's going to affect the jury for our trial, and the judge was basically like, "Yo, these are two separate trials.
Right, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. We're going to continue with this one." That's what my understanding, as far as it pertains to this case, or this incident.
Yep.
So,
right.
So that was my thought. I felt like this would help the people get the verdict they want because the jury would be affected.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking maybe it could soften the blow for a lighter sentence for Chauvin, and now we got this other person that we got to worry about now too. You know what I mean?
Right.
So giving them both lesser.
You think this could soften his time he would get because of this?
In theory, it shouldn't though, because they know they're not going to be on the jury for the next trial. It's going to be a completely separate thing. I get what you're saying, but I don't think logically it's going to do anything.
I think a unique aspect going on right now is like, normally when a incident like this happens, you have the due process, right? You have it, like for example, the George Floyd thing. It was Chauvin. It was a year. We're at trial now, over a year after, or about a year when it happened, right?
Yeah.
So time lapses, and let's be honest, like people who aren't really like have a interest in this, they kind of lose sight of it.
Right.
Well, what's happening now is basically we're about to have a verdict for one incident right on the heels of another incident happening. Mm-hmm. So even though they're separate incidents,
you're saying it may work in the other way, right?
Well, what I'm saying is like, people are going to take the result of the Chauvin trial, and they're going to correlate that directly to this latest incident that happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, somebody just got killed, and you're already letting a cop off for a different incident. You know, they're gonna tie them together. Especially with they happen like what, 2 miles from each other, 3 miles from each other. You know.
So this is really going to influence the trial for the next one more so than anything.
I'm just saying, like,
the Chauvin is going to influence how they do the next one.
People are going to, they're going to correlate the ruling of the Chauvin trial with the Daunte getting killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to tie them together. You know what I mean? They're not gonna separate the two. Like, and it is the same. We're dealing with the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So they're gonna, if they let Chauvin, if whatever happens with Chauvin off, they'll be like, look, you just killed another kid or another minority.
Do you think
you just let this other police officer off?
Do you think they got the state by the balls now because of this fuck up on the police? Like, the police is fuck up. Do you think the people, what they want, you know what I mean?
Yeah, personally, and I pray to God, but I don't see a single way where that Chauvin gets found anything but guilty. I mean, I just don't understand.
If he doesn't get found guilty, I think it's going to be really bad for a lot of places in Minnesota.
Yeah.
The entire city, the entire metropolitan area.
I'm thinking like Mall of America is going to go up. They might burn that bitch down. You know what I'm saying?
Seen with the trial, it seems like everything's kind of pointing towards guilty. I think they were saying the one big thing was if he testifies himself.
Well, you see what's going on now.
Know if they want him to do that.
With the defense calling their witnesses now. The defense witnesses are literally saying the exact opposite of what. It's like they really just cast them out. Like, say this opposite shit. The opposite shit that the prosecution.
They did have the one though that was he a doctor or whatever it was when they went through like the possibilities of the other possibilities of why he died or
the
whatever.
Medical exam.
And talking about the heart.
But
he,
I mean, even when he was talking, he kind of had he made sure to slip a couple things in there and said, "Hey, I'm just saying this is a possibility.
Right.
I'm not saying this is what happened." You know what I mean?
How you feel about how the prosecution is doing versus how the defense is doing? How do you feel like it's really like a sport? Like,
I haven't seen anything from the prosecution.
They're both doing their job. I don't know if.
Do you think the prosecution is
I don't know if one is doing a better job than the other one. I just think the evidence is pointing more towards the prosecution.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's just funny as hell how the defense is literally sit up there blaming everything but trying to explain what his client was doing. He's just blaming and decrediting motherfuckers, discrediting and blaming.
I think what's happening in the court case now is damn near a joke to the whole system. You know what I mean? Like,
It's
the defense attorney this shit is looking very like.
I think it's one of those trials where you kind of have to. I mean, you got to think it's the defense attorney, bro. It's his case. He can't just go up there and just be like.
But it's looking bad though. But it's looking bad. It's like this. What you trying to do? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's not much. I mean, what else is he gonna do? You know what I mean?
It's just bad.
What they're doing right now is they're throwing 8-9 different scenarios out there.
Attorney to represent this nigga, to be real, because
you don't got no game either. But luckily, that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
You're arguing whether or not he deserved it or not. He deserved to die. What his argument is, he deserved to die. Period.
He's a drug addict.
Yeah, he deserved it because he was on drugs. He deserved it because he didn't cooperate. He deserved it because Chauvin was doing his job. That's the policy, is what he claimed.
Right, as opposed to trying to prove their case, they're almost just trying to like confuse the jury enough to where.
They're just trying to make the witnesses seem like they don't know what they're talking about. Yeah.
I mean, it's the top niggas that been around for years, and he's like, immediately they get up there and he just disrespect them and act like they ain't shit. It's cold what he's doing, but. He has no other option if he want to defend that nigga.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. He doesn't really have much options.
He's a bitch. You want to ride with that nigga, fuck you too.
You gotta look at the state of everything.
Is it fucked up for me to say that this officer, Kim Potter and Chauvin look like brother and sister?
I didn't even think about this.
You see the photos of them right next to each other?
Yeah.
Huh?
Trying to say all white people look alike, you should say?
It's just something about those eyes to me. It's just like, you can... Y'all don't look nothing alike. Y'all look like I don't know. But
I want to talk about something before I forget with white people real quick with y'all niggas, because I feel like white people, and it ties into this bitch, because y'all be having like the best ability to play dumb. Play dumb as fuck. And you have a nigga thinking like, oh, they didn't know. It's like how this bitch did. Like, she was on camera playing dumb. Like, she didn't know what she was doing. She said the right thing. And it has a lot of people thinking, well, maybe it was an accident.
Well, we got to know what we're dealing with here at this.
Are so notorious for playing dumb. Y'all know what I'm saying.
Not even just white people, but white women.
A lot of white
specifically.
people.
White women women specifically.
Yeah.
Before I give my point on this, or my point of view, what happened to that officer, just to refresh my mind, what happened to that officer that thought she was in her own apartment and shot and killed somebody? Did she get time?
She had 10 years.
She got 10, okay.
And that was way worse than this.
And that was bad.
That's terrible.
I still to
she
this
went
day
into the
don't
nigga's house.
So she definitely should have got more time.
Don't understand that.
She should have got more time,
she
right?
She got way more time. It shouldn't have been manslaughter, because that's garbage.
And this is gonna tie into other cases. It's so much shit going on with all these cases that we're talking about white women now specifically.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a white woman as an officer, which you cannot fuck with white women in this country. We know that. Okay. Officer Noor went straight to jail. You know what I'm saying? Fucking with a white woman.
The first nigga in history, in Minnesota history, all the niggas that killed motherfuckers.
White woman. She's not even from here, but she's
did the same thing everybody else did.
So. And it's like, obviously, I have sympathy for that person, but it's like, hold up. You know what I'm saying?
It puts us in a tough position, man.
I would say this case is a lot more relatable to that case than the Derek Chauvin one.
It is. But my point of view on women, white, I want to even get more specific. A white woman having the ability to be able to be confused. You know what I mean? And we can sympathize with her, and we can be okay with her mistakes or whatever. This is obviously a huge mistake. You can't make these mistakes. I'm worried about that in this case, you know. They obviously did with the other officer lady, but she should have definitely got more time straight up walking in somebody's crib and killing them. You know what I'm saying?
Played dumb.
Ignorance is no excuse. That's part of law.
Yeah. Exactly. But somehow the white woman gets to play dumb, and they buy it. To a degree, the jury bought her. I didn't know it was an accident. I thought it was my crib.
I think that the white woman is at the base of the ego of the white male.
Yeah.
If you're fucking with our white woman, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? What does that say about us? Type shit. This goes deep. We could go deeper, whatever, down many holes talking about this shit
all day.
But yeah, a woman can say that, and a woman is trained. Women are trained to like, oh my God, what did I do? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, a man can say that, but that shit ain't gonna slide.
They don't want to hear.
A man doesn't have the ability to make mistakes, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Women.
But still, what the white officers, the man officers always saying, we fear for, they buying that shit too. We fear, I was scared. Remember in Cincinnati, this was similar to this one. The nigga shot the nigga in the head when he tried to get his license and told him to get out of the car. He drives off. The officer shot him while he drove off, shot him in the head. And
I didn't even hear about that one.
No, you probably don't remember. The nigga's name was Samuel Dubose. It was in Cincinnati, 2015. The officer shot him as he was driving. He pulled off on him quick. He was afraid for his life. Said he was afraid for his life. And he ended up they got him indicted, went to trial. It was a mistrial. So they brought in another jury, another mistrial, 2 mistrials, and it was dismissed. So they didn't do another one. So he didn't get nothing. So very similar to this one, honestly, because the niggas, he was trying to get his information. The nigga wasn't really cooperating. He was kind of cool, calm, and collect. The nigga just drives off quick. He puts his car in and he said, stop. Bop, bop. Shot him right in the head.
You can't shoot somebody because they're running from you.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand that. I don't get how many people don't.
But the laws is written in such a way that it's like, man, whatever. If I say I fear for my life as an officer, then I fear for my life.
But there's no law for that. There's no law for that. They're doing a lot of fucking around with the laws in the gray areas.
They tweaking it. It's open for loopholes and shit, so they can say, well, shit, I don't know. The nigga drove out. He might have finna run me over. They do all this bullshit, and it keeps working for them. They literally had 2 mistrials. The jury couldn't come to an agreement, and it was just dismissed, and he's done. He's free.
So, Matt, in what ways do you think this case is similar to the Officer North case?
Because it was almost the same situation. They got feared for his life and accidentally shot her or whatever. It was same thing. I guess the accidentally shot is kind of the thing that relates the two. So
what's crazy is it's the same situation, but completely opposite.
Right.
So we got a black cop, white woman officer, white woman,
same situation,
male.
different roles or switched roles.
The crazy thing about the Officer North situation is I don't think we ever even saw tape. We never saw body cam shit.
Yeah, I don't think it was. They didn't have it on from what I remember.
That was before they made them.
I don't think it. No, bro.
They did have them.
Because that was after Philando Castile. This was after.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
God, that's weird.
This was probably like 2 or 3 back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's crazy is there was the least evidence, at least to the public, the least amount of evidence of all of the police killing cases in the Officer North case.
It was.
We don't know any context. We know what the story was somebody approached the cop car in a dark alley, and all we know is he was in the passenger seat and he shot through the driver's side window.
I think there was dash cam footage, wasn't there? They released that.
I don't remember it being no footage at all.
They released dash cam footage or something.
Was it audio? I don't remember, but I know they didn't have that official body cam.
There might have been audio.
What bothers me is like it makes me sound insensitive because I'm being less empathetic or sympathetic towards the death of a white woman. But that's not, my mom is white. Like I have sympathy and empathy. You know what I mean? Like I don't like when people would make the argument, especially like, I don't know if we want to get on the political side of it, but like your conservatives and shit like that. Like, what is he doing shooting through the passenger side? You know what I mean? Like, that was all I was hearing. That's so crooked. Like, what are we doing here? That Officer North case literally had the least amount to go on anything. The public couldn't even run with shit on that. They locked his ass up straight away. You know what I'm saying?
No problem.
No, nothing. Easy.
So what you're saying is that because like the roles were reversed, we're thinking that it was just, hey, just this is it. We're just gonna lock him up. Not, you know.
Well, they got a jury too, right?
Yeah.
So what's going on here? Why is it so? Why was that so easy? You know what I'm saying? I don't remember that case being drawn out. You know what I'm saying? Like, why was that so easy? Why was it so easy to just come to a clean cut
and then you're saying
verdict?
situations like the Chauvin one.
Philando Castile, you shoot him in the car. He's sitting down. There's kids in the back. That looks stupid.
Yeah.
There was another one.
The Castile one, they were let off, weren't they? Wasn't he? Or was he?
No, he was
charged?
let off. He didn't get nothing.
What about that? Wasn't it?
He was charged, but he was
Found
acquitted.
found not guilty.
Was it
Yeah,
Eric
acquitted.
Garner?
In New York? Yeah.
No. There was another one here.
Was it Smith?
no, I don't think Garner was here, was it?
Look up. Can you look up the police killings in Minnesota? Most recent police killing minorities.
It's a couple of ones that I in the last 10
But back
years.
to your point, so you're basically just saying like you don't want to make it sound like you don't have.
For that case, but I want to use that case, and while we're talking about this, just to show you, like, they locked Hamzi's brother up. You know what I'm saying? Like, no problem.
Yeah.
And he's in a way where he was on the north side, I think, when that happened.
Was that where it was?
I believe so. I could be wrong, but I
don't remember.
believe so. That's the hood. You know what I'm saying? He knows that's the hood. We don't know what's going on in that alley, in the dark, on a call for a domestic. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, literally, he did the same thing all these other white officers have been doing for years and years. It was the same thing, the same storyline. He was treated
Here you go back up.
way different.
What's the name, Dre?
There's no Jamar Clark.
Jamar Clark.
What year was that? Yeah, 2015.
Yeah. Because Philando Castile was 2016. No, I want to say
This is not just Minnesota though, right?
I think this is
Eric Garner right there, right?
That was in Minnesota. Yeah, Sandra Bland was in
no.
Minnesota. I mean, this is just telling you all of them.
Yeah, this is just a list of all of them. I just looked at the
Alton
list of
Sterling was that. Where was that at? Louisiana. Freddie Gay.
Remember, Alton Sterling was a few days before Philando Castile, from what I remember, right?
Yeah, there was one. There was
like
like
back to
time
back.
period. There was like 3, like within a month. Right?
Yeah, July, I think it was. But man,
We had a lot of cases here. All I'm saying is, we've got the footage on this one. We see that this is a error.
Yeah.
You can't have errors on the job.
Yep. You held a higher
And
standard.
you said that when you put Officer Noor in jail.
Yeah.
You made that clear. So what are we doing here now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Minneapolis already done changed the landscape of this with Officer Noor. He was the guinea pig in the whole, if we were going to talk about police, holding police accountable. We've already started that wave with Officer Noor. He happened to be black, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And so that it might have been a little easier for him to get the ball rolling.
And niggas be acting like they don't. It's just they don't acknowledge this shit. A lot of white people are acting like they don't understand what we're saying about this. When you tie that Noor case to these other cases and you add them up, it don't come out right.
Right.
There's no reason.
The Officer Noor case, compared to all of these other cases,
All
of them,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
was the least conclusive.
Yeah, I think one of the points you're trying to make is like that case, like you said, least conclusive, least amount of evidence, that type of thing. We don't have actual video of it, and they were pretty quick to find him guilty.
And we can go around the country, all these videos. We seen a gang of videos. These officers were set free.
But to your point, being a black male officer, maybe they find it easier, a jury or whoever it is, the public perception,
It's easier to paint him angry
to convict him versus a white female, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what you were getting to earlier with the white.
Yeah,
Whether it be the perception of the media, whether it be
that's
a jury.
That's deeply rooted in our country as Americans.
Yeah.
You don't fuck with white women. It's just that's the running joke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
White women call the police. They're stat. You know what I mean? A white woman.
Yeah.
So
the difference between a black male killing a white woman versus a white woman killing a black male, because that's the the situations are identical, right? That's really the difference here between the two cases, right?
Yeah, they're the same thing. So different demographic and genders. You know what I mean? Switched up. Are they gonna double down? You know what I'm saying? Like,
because even if Noah shot a black man, it would be way different.
That's what I'm saying.
It would be way different.
Yeah.
Like just that element of it changing to a black man, another black man.
Situations exactly the same. Yeah.
How do you think people would perceive that situation if it was I don't want to use Officer Noah, but if a black officer kills a black man, is the hood gonna be in uproar?
I think so.
I think a lot of people is looking at every police officer.
I don't think it's a racial police thing.
A lot of
people,
people, just a police thing.
So, and I heard somebody kind of say this perfectly. It was a black man. He was a former soldier. I was watching interviews on the protests and stuff while they were happening. He was like, look, this ain't a race thing. It's a systemic thing.
Yeah.
It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's an issue with the system. I agree with that, but it's an issue with the system that predominantly affects minorities.
Yeah. Well, because he's not talking. I think what he was trying to say is it's not. Race doesn't matter as far as how the system goes. The victims, it definitely does.
Yeah.
The system, though, I don't think it matters.
Explain that.
Wasn't Philando Castile, wasn't the cop that shot him, wasn't he Asian?
Yeah.
He was Asian.
Yeah.
He wasn't white, I'm pretty sure.
But he was a police officer.
But he's a police officer. Yeah, I don't think as far as these types of situations go, I don't know if it was a black officer who shot a black guy. I don't know if it would make a big difference.
Yeah, I think it's a systematic thing that police in general targeting minorities.
It's the police officer thing. You put a blank face on a police officer.
Even if you're a black officer, you've adapted that racist white way. You're working for. That's why I don't agree with
black people being officers. I think we need more black officers.
I don't agree.
I think mostly black officers should police mostly black communities.
Let me pause you guys quick. Let me pause you guys quick, real quick. At being black male, obviously once youth, now adults, how do you guys feel when you have an interaction with a black cop versus maybe a white cop?
Safer.
I don't feel safe.
Do you? Yeah.
I feel the same.
Same? Don't matter who it is, please.
What race, color.
I low-key feel safer.
Okay.
I don't at all. I don't feel safe.
Is your shit straight?
I don't feel safer, man.
Are you right?
I've had.
What you doing?
Listen, man, I don't feel safer.
I definitely feel like I gotta. It's not like I'm gonna get away from, because I've had times in my life where I definitely wasn't legit. You know what I'm saying? Like in my life, so I always have feared the police from a kid because of my parents and just experiences. When I have had a black officer, it's more of a funny situation to me.
Yeah.
The element of fear is definitely not as prevalent. 100%. But being pulled over, and we could talk about this. I wanted to go somewhere else. We could talk about this. He obviously ran away. Not ran away, but he tried to get out of custody,
or whatever you want to call it.
Hearing people saying like, well, why did he do that? I explained it earlier why that could have happened.
Yeah.
The situation going on.
Do we care?
I want to touch on that a little bit.
Do we care?
It's
not that we care, but he did lose his life. If it was me, I would have not done that. He's younger. He's a young man.
I personally wouldn't have done that, but
he's a kid still.
Right, he's only 20. Yeah,
he's a kid.
Yeah.
And the times right now for black men is even worse than it was for us. I feel like.
Yeah.
The fear of cops now is even worse than it was for us.
It's more televised for sure.
So, I get why he could have, but that's why I said talking to your kids, Matt, and like me, I feel like black families talking to their kids, or like that shit has to be. You have to be trained. When I deal with the police, it's almost like a business engagement. Like it's like real professional. You know what I mean? And I turn the switch on because I am afraid. You know what I mean? A part of me is like, but I try to trick myself like, I'm gonna, like just like Chris Tucker off of Friday, like I be playing mind games on Debo. You know, you say shut up, I say shut up, but when he leave, I be talking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, That's a real thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that I seen him try to do that, because I just feel like as black people, we definitely have to be more intelligent in these situations. We have to be more intelligent in these situations. We have to be giving them the least amount of shit to even have an opportunity, because the truth is, even being pulled over for a traffic stop, this could be an opportunity for a cop to take your life.
Yeah.
The problem is we see black men in every situation, whether they were compliant, not compliant, they're dying in every one of the scenarios. They didn't do nothing. Botham Jean shot in his apartment. He didn't do shit. Would she have done that if that was a white nigga in his, and she went to the white man's apartment? I don't know. I don't believe so.
Yeah.
I get that.
I'm just saying.
But I just hate that he lost his life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I hate that.
No question about it.
I would just, for future kids, you know what I'm saying, out there, obviously we know that this shit is real tense with police. I would like to see the police shit might not never change, you know, and it's like, okay, do we have to reform? Do we have to comply? Are we being bitches and hoes to the system? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, man, our lives is important. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do think it's tough though when, for all we know, I mean, all he's seen since he was 14 years old.
Yeah.
You know, like the Philando Castillo thing.
I mean, the last 10 years, he was a kid.
He told the cop, like, look, I got a legal firearm on me. You know, I'm telling you, he was doing everything in his power that he could to comply. Basically, your example, you know, hey, look, I got firearm, and the cop's like, okay, can you grab it for me? And he's like, I'm just going to unbuckle my seatbelt, and then bam, they shot him. You know what I'm saying? What else is he supposed to do?
He did everything right
in that situation.
He did everything
so
right. And nothing happened to the officer.
Like Daunte Harris, that's all he's seen since he was a youth. Or Daunte Wright, excuse me. Yeah, it's all he's seen since he was a youth. Then in that situation, he's probably scared, right?
Yeah.
You know?
No, I get it. I get why it happened. And I believe that I'm not blaming him for how he reacted, because I look what's going on. Just like you said, like he grew up with this. He's probably was afraid for his life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not blaming Daunte Wright, but I think that until things change, we need to be cherishing our children and our own lives, and we need to be on point dealing with these officers, because, and it may not change, you know, like you said, people comply.
Yeah.
But we got to make it harder for them. You know what I mean? We can't just. So there's a fine line. How do we do that?
Yeah.
How do we do that? Are we starting to question police more when they're questioning us? We clearly see that there's authority complexes with police officers, because I guess we pay them to have authority.
Right.
But there's something that's off here. I do see people more and more challenging officers. Mm-hmm. And I personally think it's not worth it. You know, I don't think it's worth it. Like,
when you get pulled over, you say like you doing your shit like a business transaction. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's how my dad taught me, you know? Okay. My dad literally have conversations with me, like, don't be playing no games with the cops. Like, you just do whatever they say and you get up out of there, you know?
Yeah, I'm struggling with a lot of that still. I honestly struggle with when I get pulled over. I haven't mastered how to deal with it yet, because I'm always getting tickets. I get pulled over here and there. I mean, I haven't figured out how to deal with the interaction and have success, honestly. I guess I
mean, it's simple. I'm gonna put it as, I don't want to sound, because part of what I'm saying I know can be perceived and sound as like weak or in compliance, but you just turn your white voice on. You know what I mean?
Listen, man.
You turn your white voice on. You speak to the officer. You play to their ego. Give them their respect. Whatever it is that they want. You know what I'm saying? You get on with your day.
This is a part of the. You read the 48 Laws of Power, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the first law is, don't outshine the master or whatever.
Yep.
And he's right. I agree with him, but it gets tough sometimes, and that's something that it's true what he's saying in that law book, because it's just like the white man explaining you how the shit works.
We're in civilization right now. We're in a society. This is the structure that's set up. Take all this away, even in Roman Empire, fucking villages, you know what I'm saying? Whoever's in authority, this shit is just, it's the nature of human. You know what I mean? It's the nature of humans. You give somebody authority over other people, they will abuse it. It's just what it is. If you challenge them, especially, you know what I mean? That's not flying with them. So with the first law of 48 laws of power, it's like, are we saying that the cops are the master, whatever? I think that's a lot of the issue between the people and the police officers.
Like you said, feed into their ego, let them think that they're the one, they the nigga, and that's how you get through it, right?
Yeah, but then you got your group of people be like, nah, fuck that, fuck the system, fuck, you know what I'm saying?
And that's, yeah.
So where do we go?
It's a tough situation. It's a tough balance, because
I do think that
people don't like to feel like they're a bitch either. It's like, damn,
Why am I being treated this way?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of cops too. I mean, you see videos all the time of cops that obviously are abusing their power, or abusing their, the.
You see how that one with that motherfucking lieutenant shit went down. That nigga really was an ego trip thing. Like, he didn't even do none of that shit.
You about to ride the lightning, son.
Yeah, that was like a straight up nigga. You a lieutenant? You ain't know who is you? What type of nigga is you? I'm a lieutenant.
What's crazy is, in everything I just said, white people are out here challenging the officers. They are out here challenging them, and the officers are, for some reason, a little more accepting of that. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, you're right. You are paying my wages with your taxes. Like, I get it. All right, I'm gonna give you a break. Or they'll definitely have more patience with the white person challenging them. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the bigger that's the issue. That's the bigger underlying issue.
The racism shit is something that we can't do nothing about.
It's something that the country is embedded in, even our own minds as black people.
Nothing can be done about this racist shit. I've never seen a white person who's racist unlearn racism for some reason. They're racist. They're taught racist. They grow up. They say, no, I was taught correctly. I'm racist. I hate these people. And I've never seen a person come out of that. And they teach their kids, and it just continues on, and it's something that change the system, abolish, do whatever. That racist shit. It's almost like people hate people. They hate us more than they hate going to jail even. It's like, I'd rather kill a nigga as an officer and potentially go to jail.
I ain't playing that shit. This is a high fucking risk situation right now.
I don't care. So they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I just think it's just the system that back to your point. I mean, it's ingrained in like this system. You know what I'm saying? To treat people, minorities, differently than they do.
It's just the way it's gonna be.
That's nothing nobody can do about that.
That's what the protesting stuff and all that is.
It's little kids out here right now who's being taught this shit right now as we speak. Little young 5-year-old kids.
You're not gonna be able to change it. Period. It's just
but I mean, what other choice do we have? I mean, we're just gonna let this continue to go on for the next
I think it's changing with the generation.
Hundreds of years.
I think it's changing with the generation. Just the other day,
it may be becoming less dominant, but it's never ever going away.
I think the children of these white people now. The white children of the white people now, they are treating black culture much differently. Yeah. Like, they understand it's black culture as they are idolizing it. And they are much more appreciative, I believe. Like, I just went into for a job, I went to an appointment. The person had a Black Lives Matter sign on the door. They're like, can I ask, we're looking to support black-owned businesses. Is your business black-owned? Just get it. Mm-hmm. Their kids got Travis Scott all over the wall, Juice WRLD, all this shit over the wall. The kids all into the black culture. You know what I mean? And I just think you see a lot of white kids out here, BLM, you know what I'm saying? There's definitely things changing with the children. So once those kids get to our age and they become police officers and they become judges and they become jury members and they, you know what I mean? I do think in 2 or 3 generations it's gonna be different. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be better. It'll be different.
I'm gonna disagree with you.
Okay.
Because of what I've seen and all that, just
like they teaching that racist shit right now.
Because there's a difference. No, I haven't seen that. But because there's a difference between accepting black culture and enjoying it, or whatever you want to call it, or having the Travis Scott posters and all that, and racism. Because you can still do all that. You can still listen to Travis Scott. You can have Black Lives Matter posters, all that shit on your walls, wherever you want to keep it. But at the end of the day, if you're walking down the street and there's a black dude in front of you on the sidewalk, and you go to that other part of the sidewalk, that's still racism. It don't matter what you
it's just
accept
like in
as a culture.
that Summer in Miami movie when Jim Brown was up in the white nigga's house and he was like, "Oh, that's Jim Brown though. But it's Jim Brown." But he was still like,
right.
He said something.
Right, we don't
like,
let you in the house.
Yeah, we don't do
it's
that.
It's like, no, you gotta go around back.
You can't come in the house.
So it's just the same thing.
Cause you know we can't have niggas in the house.
Can't have niggas.
We can't. That's
what the niggas say.
I appreciate it, but you know we can't have niggas in the house.
And that's still applied right now, though. You know.
That's why I don't think it's really ever going to go away, man. And to your point, a lot of the people that have like the Black Lives Matter, the people that are out protesting right now, I guarantee you 90% of the motherfuckers out there, at least 90% of the white people out there for clout. They don't give a shit.
So let's talk about that.
I believe that.
Let's talk about the fake. No. Let's just talk about it. I mean, you're getting a ton of white people out here supporting the Black Lives and protesting. Yeah. Sometimes more than black people. In some cities, it's predominantly more white people protesting than black people. Yeah. Like Portland and shit. Those are like some of the lowest percentage states where black people are there.
Yeah.
And they're going crazy with the protests out there. You know what I mean? Let's talk about the mind of the white person right now during all of this. You have some people. I believe you have some people that genuinely care. We have all different kind of people. We have different people that want to say they were a part of the struggle. You know what I mean? They want to have a struggle to identify with. You got people that are just going with what's cool. You know what I mean? It's cool to support BLM right now, so let's just show up and say, hey, we was there. What do you guys think is the majority between those? Like, who is it more genuine? You got people just trying to feel like they're, because it came up with, I don't even want to bring the name up, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But I was talking to Henry and he was like, we got all these fake woke white kids. You know what I mean? That
you said fake woke.
Fake woke white kids. You know what I'm saying? That want to participate in the struggle, like be front lines in the fight. You know what I mean? Is that a thing? Is that a real thing?
Is what a real thing?
It's definitely some
is
fake.
It a genuine thing, or are you saying is it a real thing
on.
that they're out there for clout?
Is it genuine? Is it happening more often than it's happening for the right reasons?
I think it's happening more for the wrong reasons than for the right reasons.
So you're saying there's a lot of just fake woke white people out there?
I even think the black people in general too, but yeah.
The black woke people are fake too.
Yeah. There's a lot of fake.
You don't like woke culture, huh?
I don't like woke culture. Woke culture can suck a dick.
I don't like the word woke. I will say that.
It sucks dick and it stank.
That nigga's funny.
You just forgot to say shit. That shit suck dick and it stank. But
yeah, run with that. I'll let y'all niggas use my shit.
I don't like the word woke either because it's corny.
There's a lot of words I don't like either.
You know? Do you like woke?
No, I don't give a fuck about what I don't say.
And just words we don't like.
I hate it. Yeah.
But it is. It's more white people than black people here in this country, and it's just something to speak about. Like, why is it? You know what I mean? Why now? Is it just that times are changing, and that kind of adds to the, I think, times are changing with the generations. You know. Why now is it a shit ton of white people out there going hard?
Yeah, I think this goes back to like a bigger thing for me, at least. I think it just has to do because of social media. You know what I mean? Like they
blew up.
It's cooler now.
It's cool. It's cool.
It's,
you know,
it's
and like,
fitting in too. You know,
back to you earlier saying like with
is that a bad thing
with the culture?
I mean, I
think it's a bad thing if the only time you want to make your presence felt or like your face be seen or your voice be heard is situations because you're putting it on Instagram.
Right. Like what were they
Facebook.
doing before this? Were they out there?
But when it comes down to it, you know, are you supporting black-owned businesses? You know, are you know, when are you standing up for your minority friends when there's an altercation with a police officer or there's interaction with a police officer? You know, are you doing these things that support? Are you denouncing? You know, I think as a white person, a big thing I see is being around other white people and then them just kind of like, oh, whatever, it's not that big of a deal. But are you denouncing those situations? You know what I'm saying?
Or when the situation's over with, it's just back to normal life and they don't do nothing about it.
I think because of social media, I think you see, do I think that there's more of that going on than I don't know. I guess I can't really say, but I think a large part of that has to do with because it's a cool thing, you know. And I think that's true probably for black people too. You know, there's probably plenty of, you know, more white people for sure.
I feel like for black people, it's almost like they feel like they don't even got a choice. Like
they have to.
It's like, well, I'm black, I gotta be there.
Even if they're not like really about it, they still are just like, well, I have to do it anyway.
And then we can segue right there. Like, I don't know if we really covered that the way I wanted to, but it is what it is. It's kind of a weird, confusing way to look at it. But how do you feel about protesting in general?
Yeah, I think
I'm kind of torn about this shit, man.
What you think, Taurus?
Like, it just feel like it's
pointless.
It just feel like it's ineffective, and you know, it's just on one hand, it's like, man, because it's a lot of times it feels like there's nothing we can do though. Like, we can't do shit about what's going on. All we can do is protest. Because nothing else matters. What can we do? So we have to feel like we're doing something to contribute to the change, even though it's not really making a difference. So on one hand, it's like, yeah, protest all till you die. But it's
almost like there's nothing else to do. So
nothing else
to do.
It's
self-fulfillment.
You know, you feel like you're just helpless. There's nothing else to do. You can't do shit about it. You just got to deal with it. So that's the only thing you can do to make you feel like you at least contributed to something. To make a change,
What's your thoughts, Matt?
It's kind of his point, same thing. I just feel like I don't feel like there's a ton you can do because I feel like unless you can get rid of the types of things that are causing the problems, which you really can't, which is because there's always going to be racist people in the world. There's always going to be cops who are bad at their job. And there's always going to be situations like that. Like, you can do all you want.
Yeah, we can't just say like, oh, whatever. It's just always gonna be like that. You know what I'm saying?
But the reason you say that you can't say that is because you don't want it to be that way. But the realistic way to look at it is that there's not a lot you can do about that.
But that's the thing is that we need to find things to do, or there needs to be like actual.
But the reason the things that are happening right now, the way they're happening right now, is because they haven't found anything to do. They haven't found anything that works.
Yeah, but I mean, like.
The reality is that the racism there's nothing that's not going nowhere, right?
No, look, I understand. Yeah, there's gonna be racist people probably forever. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody.
Mm-hmm. But to say like, look, there's nothing we can do about the police. I think that's an easy cop out. I mean,
there's probably
something has to be done, and we need to do something.
You can do, but I don't know what it is. Because in my opinion, this may be controversial, but in my opinion. Part of the problem is the people that become cops. I think there's like 3 reasons you become a cop. It's one, like your family. It's like your family tree. Like your dad was a cop, your grandpa was a cop, whatever. You think it's cool to have power or to have a gun. Mm-hmm. Or 3, you're not. Yeah. This is gonna be the controversial part. 3, you're not really smart enough to do anything else. So you kind of go there.
There was a little joke I saw on the show. I can't even remember. Dude was like. You couldn't be something, so you became a cop.
I mean, maybe if they required you to have like a 4-year degree or something.
Okay, so let's run with that though. So one of the reasons you think, and this is a common one, is maybe you're not educated or not qualified enough for maybe whether it be a higher paying job or like a job that maybe you feel is more fulfilling. Well, maybe then maybe it needs to change. Maybe the criteria, the standard for being a police officer Maybe they need to pay them more. Maybe the standard needs to be higher. You know, if we're not getting the right
you're right.
people
We just gotta
in as
figure out
police officers.
The problem is you got to figure out how to make that happen.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
these
fucking then pay them twice as much as they're being paid now.
Right, no, but I'm saying
stricter,
like we as citizens,
paying them is not the
how
answer.
do we
Paying them
make
more
that
is
happen?
not-
Because
that's
they're
not
not
it.
going to make that happen.
You don't
State-
think paying them more?
No, fuck them. We don't pay
no,
them
I
more.
don't think. I think paying them more might make it worse.
You think it make it worse?
Without
but
without
not
changing
that
the
you're
other
just
things.
paying them more, but you're having the ability to make a higher pay through being more qualified.
Yeah. Not just strictly, hey, all of a sudden you're making more.
That makes more sense.
You
I
need to be
think
more
I think that has to
qualified
be
earn a higher
I think
pay.
that has to be like the minimum then though. I don't think you can still have.
Oh no, I'm not saying
the-
that's the fix. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
right,
that's
right.
the resolution to it.
Oh
all.
no, I mean like that has to be like the minimum entry level.
But do y'all
I mean-
think that? Because there's nothing you can do with the current system in place, and you have to get rid of this shit because it's no good. All of it has to go away and be restructured.
There
It
was
doesn't
an
work.
idea
It's
that
not working.
I was talking to my homie Ryan about, and he was talking about it should be like an annual everybody, just like you can be a jury duty, like you get called. Like it should be a community thing where everybody gets called up. You know, it has to serve 1 or 2 years as a police officer as part of community duty. That could be dicey, but the people would be policing the people.
Yeah, I don't think I
I'm
like
on
that.
that.
That's not a great.
Because there'd be a lot of people that aren't qualified, and then really too. Now we're turning into basically essentially a draft.
So you probably get
like
more
a military
cases
draft. Because that's really what a military draft was. Everybody's got a.
But it wouldn't be. Yeah, I guess.
I think you'd probably get more cases like this too in that sense.
I just don't really like the idea of anybody going, and I don't understand why you want to go work for that organization at all. Why you want to go be an officer? You say those 3 reasons. I don't get it.
Let's
why are
pause
you
it real
doing that
quick,
shit?
though, because even though this is happening a lot, we can't sit here and say that every cop is a bad cop. There are cops
I
out
believe
there.
that all of them
You
are
think
bad.
every single cop has...
Knowing everything you know about police officers and the history of police and what it represents, what it means to be a police officer, why would you go do that?
Yeah, I'm
because
not
they
wrong.
don't
The
look.
job is bad.
Only
The job is bad, though.
Only black people
Right.
look at that way though.
Everyone should
other
look at it
races
that way.
definitely don't look.
Right.
Other races look at it just like
Because
going to the army. It's like a prestigious thing to do. You know what I mean? They look at it as honorable. You not looking at it as unhonorable because obviously most black people are on the receiving end of dishonorable shit from these cops, but that doesn't take away how other people, what we see and what they see are totally different. It's totally different world.
That's huge. That's huge.
That's the problem.
Yeah. And that's the other problem too is people speak on stuff
White
that they
people
don't
can
have
see
any
this shit
idea
just
of.
as much as I can see it.
A lot of these people that are
right.
Blue Lives Matter and all that kind of stuff are people that have never
There's bad cops.
lived
But
in.
I'm not going to sit here and say every cop is a bad
lived
cop.
in an area where they'd see it with their eyes.
I've struggled with this because I just don't.
I personally believe that there are, of both races, there are police
The problem is the policies and the system doesn't. You can't just be a
I'll agree with
police
that.
officer and come in and do good things. You have to go do the bullshit that you're assigned to do. What the job is doing is bullshit. I don't care. It doesn't mean because you didn't kill somebody. Everything that they're doing is garbage.
So you think
right? You're falsely arresting people. You're overly policing areas. You're doing all this shit. You're doing something that's bad. That's corrupt over there. You don't have to just be killing a nigga. Whatever you're assigned to do is bad.
The best cops
Everything
is
is
just
bad
the one
over there.
doing the traffic, like,
And that's bullshit too.
Dancing and shit.
Y'all paying for that dumb shit. It's traffic lights. Why are you
So you
paying
think
the
you
nigga?
think the answer would be just to eradicate police officers altogether?
If we can't come up with nothing
we
else,
can't do that.
I would be okay with it.
I don't think that's that we can do that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, personally, I can't really think of a reason I would ever call the police to take care of a situation. I would just take care of it
I'm
myself.
not calling
but
the police for
most
nothing.
people aren't like that either, though. You know,
I
most
think
people need them for
there's gonna be a time
situations.
where officers are needed. Maybe you might not never call them, but maybe one of your family members might be in a serious situation, you know what I'm saying, where they need to call the police, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why we pay.
like a sister or something.
It needs to
being honest and
improve.
shit.
I don't think society as a whole could function without
No.
policing, because people would run wild and get
Yeah.
way more. It'd be wild, wild west. You know what I mean?
I think the business aspect of the police is really something that hurts it a lot because it's not protect and serve first. It's a business first. They out here they want to make arrests. They got to get these quotas. They got to get niggas in the jail.
That's part of
like
the
the structure of it is fucking.
It's flawed.
To the point where it's at now, it looks pretty pathetic. But the thing I worry about when people talk about abolishing police and all this and that, and maybe I'm wrong for this, but I don't have much faith in humanity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think humans are going to change that much. So you take away the police.
You think there's more bad humans than good humans?
It's not that. I just think the nature is if...
It's going to be on some purge type shit.
Look at a kid. Just look at a kid. If a parent is always there telling the kid what to do, like, hey, don't touch that, don't touch that. They know the parent's there, they're not going to touch that. The parent's not there, they might get curious one time and touch it. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's there to enforce. You tell children not to do some shit, they do some shit when they think nobody's watching.
It ended up being some survival of the fittest type shit, which is
not necessarily.
Big.
There's bad people out there.
It's not even a bad thing. It's not even that it's bad. I just think it's human nature to test the boundaries, test the limits. You know what I mean? How far can I go? How can I get away with this? Like,
well, I mean, to his point, then, I mean, if that was the case, then there wouldn't be limits, though. So, I mean, would we have the nature? Would human nature take over and want to test limits that aren't there at that point?
Look, man, we can talk about all this crazy shit. All I'm saying is, I don't trust humans enough to not. We gotta, as people, be on each other. You know what I mean?
You trust police enough, though?
I don't trust police either. But there's the idea of the police.
You trust the fear that's there, whatever you want to call it.
The idea of the police.
It's crazy, man. Because I don't even know what I'm saying right now.
It's tough.
I get what you're trying to say. It's.
What I'm trying to say really is. So like socialist ideas in. Like the community policing, everybody should have to do the. You know, like I'm not sure. I don't think that people can be responsible enough. Even with the system that we have now, which is supposed to be responsible, the people in these positions of responsibility aren't being responsible enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we take that away, which that's a structure of some responsibility, even though it's failing a lot.
Miserably.
We take that away, now people don't have that. We're gonna have to figure out something new. I'm not hearing any idea that gives me like.
Right. I mean, so what you were talking about earlier with the gun control thing and how they're getting a lot more strict with gun control.
Yeah.
Maybe they should get a lot more strict with people who are going to be controlling guns on a daily basis.
That's a good point. That to me, that's my point earlier about she's been a cop for 25 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just we need to get better people in these positions. You know what I mean? Like and a lot of that I think comes from the structure of this business or this
there's not
workforce.
A lot of the requirements to become a police officer.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not.
That's to my point of where if you're not really smart enough to do anything else, you can go down that route because it's so easy.
It's just like when people go to the military. It's like I don't really have anything else
You basically
going
just
on.
sign up and go in. And you're just like, okay.
The problem is it doesn't allow you, even if you're a good person. Law enforcement,
it corrupts you.
It doesn't allow you to be a good person. The policies are not good. You're going to do some shit that's corrupt.
So
you have to be.
That's what I'm saying.
Or you'll be fired.
So why don't we change those the system, the policies?
It's not about the people. It's about the policies. The system,
which is the problem though, because we haven't found a way to change that.
And people is going over there and knowing what it is, and they go over there and they see what it is, and they stay there.
We can protest all. I don't get it. I mean, this will be the most that they do.
Yeah, but
if you're a solid motherfucker, you shouldn't be going over there. You shouldn't do that job.
I just think this.
Because since this stuff started happening with Derek Chauvin and all that, how much have we heard about them changing policies and stuff like that with the police?
They're talking a lot, like defund and all this shit, but
that's different than that's just taking money away.
The only change you can make
that's important to people, though, bro.
I was gonna say
taking money away from them's not
say?
Gonna. I mean, they're not taking money from their salaries.
They're taking money away from like their retirement and shit.
we got off of the whole riot protesting thing.
Yeah.
I forgot what I wanted to say was it sounds like we don't think that it works, right?
For sure it don't work.
No, it don't work.
The protesting?
Yeah.
I part of me, you know, I feel these things, and they're a part of me in some of these issues. Like, I have things to say, and I want to be a part of it. I don't have the energy to protest. I just, for some reason, it's not, my personality doesn't align with it. Like, I don't want to sit there. I need to see immediate results. I can't go out there and be like screaming all night, you know, doing this back and forth game when I know that it's going to make very, very little impact in the grand scheme. But I do believe with looting, and you know, saying how do people feel about looting? I used to be like, I shouldn't be looting, but now I'm like, honestly, you get a combination of protests and you get a combination of looting. What's happening is people are forced to have opinions. People are confronted with the issue now. So now it's becoming something that you have to take a side on, whether you like it or you don't like it.
Yeah.
And I think the infiltration of the mind, it has its place, and I think it's productive in that way.
Yeah.
The only way you're truly gonna make change though is hurting people's pockets.
Yeah.
Is what I believe.
That's true.
Yeah. Somebody's pockets have to be hurt for something that,
like I was saying about the business aspect of the police.
But that's the shitty situation about this is you can't really hurt their pockets. It's the state.
Pockets, bro.
They take it out of our paychecks.
No, I know.
Yeah, we're hurting our pockets.
Right.
No, that's not
But
the
like,
only way
what
that
he's
cops
saying, like,
take. The cops' only revenue is not strictly from taxes. They get revenue from other places as well.
Where? Tell us.
So one of the examples I think that Minneapolis did, or that the University of Minnesota, for all their events, whether it be like student events or any kind of athletic events, they employ Minneapolis cops.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
So what they said is they were, as soon as like the George Floyd thing happened, they're like, we are no longer going to employ a single Minneapolis. They use different cities. Now again, this is a very small scale. Is that going to make a huge change? Maybe not. But I respect them.
They stuck to that?
They have not employed
They stuck to
okay.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, to my knowledge at least. I mean, I haven't fact checked it, but for like their sporting events and stuff, at least they're
because they was the first people to say fuck this shit.
We're not fucking with y'all.
That was the university. I mean, what was that at?
U of M.
U of M. Okay.
Yeah.
They still got the U of M police shit, but they
might have
for
their
the
own police.
events.
Campus police.
Yeah, for all events, they used all Minneapolis cops. Okay. They said we're no longer using Minneapolis St. Paul cops or cops from other cities, whatever it is. Yeah. So in that regard, at least, again, they're affecting their pockets, and at least they're doing what they can to, or they're trying to do something. So, again, small scale.
Well, I wanted to get, going in on this, it's just like this. We just have to talk until, you know what I mean? But I want to touch on a couple things. We touched on most of this stuff, but noticed part of this, the whole media. I thought it was cool that the media painted him as a father, a young father. They didn't come out right away
attacking his
the main
character.
Picture of him is with his kid.
And maybe it's not even worth mentioning, but I am seeing people on social media trying to pull up pictures with him having guns and
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, his criminal history and all that shit.
But I did have a funny picture that I saved. I
was actually surprised to see that, because that's normally the go-to, start attacking a nigga's character and telling you about how his felony, his criminal record, and immediately.
Let me ask you something.
They did with George Floyd.
How do you feel like the city of Brooklyn Center has handled all of this since it happened?
Yeah, you can pass that around.
Compared to maybe some of the other situations where it's happened in.
It's terrible. I don't like it, man. I'm not feeling it.
How they've handled it all with the mayor and shit.
You seen they got like the new police chief immediately, and I saw him up there speaking, and he just wasn't.
Oh yeah, I wasn't going with that.
I hate to say that, but I haven't really been digging it. But the what is this? The mayor? He's black, right?
Is he
the Brooklyn
African?
Center.
I think he might be.
Yeah, he's black. I think.
He black.
What's up with him rocking this fucking Brooklyn Center hat?
I don't know what he's doing.
Trying to represent, man.
I don't know what he's doing. I don't care for the nigga that much. I mean, he's black
Pass that back.
in that spot, but I don't know what has he done. I don't know. I haven't really checked his record. I
don't like that he's wearing a hat. It makes me. I'm starting to. It's throwing me off of me not listening to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, take that fucking hat off. You know what I mean?
He's in a suit with the hat on.
Like, what are you doing?
I'm not
bro?
fucking
What
with
are you,
the nigga.
Donald Trump in this bitch? Like, what's going on? Like,
yeah, that's the vibe of it all for sure.
Probably just trying to say he's with the city.
But that was interesting. You know, they're not painting him as this villain. You know, clearly he's a kid. You know what I'm saying? Kids do shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they could have easily found some things. You got people on social media trying to assassinate his
But I think
character.
they're also realizing what's happening when they do this shit now. It's no longer acceptable.
People are more hip to the media, and I'm so happy about that because I've always been saying these things, and I think there was a lot of people like me that was just like painting this. Like, eventually, after you see it so many times, like I remember one of the first times was with the Eric Garner joint, or whoever was in Ferguson. Was that?
That was
It's so many. I can't even. Michael Brown.
Yeah.
They painted him as a villain right away. You know what I mean? And people have become hip to that. But it's like I feel like it's a little late in the game. But it's like better late than never. But it's like that shit has been going on for the longest.
Beginning of time.
You know what I'm saying? Getting ready to position the police with the good guys. You know, just like the end of that American Skin movie. You know what I mean?
Even Tamir Rice, they start talking about his mama and his daddy's records and shit like that. I mean,
right, to try to justify it, which is weird because I saw somebody with a sign that hit the nail on the head. It said something to the effect of cops aren't supposed to kill guilty people either.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah,
so it's crazy, man. We could go on this shit forever and ever. My overall take, you know, obviously, I hope she gets put away for. I think she needs to do at least 20 years. You know what I'm saying? You got some people who are gonna say that's not enough, but I think a nice solid 20-year sentence would make at least give the family something. You know what I'm saying? She's probably not gonna serve all of that.
Did you say the max was 10, or is that not?
Yeah, for manslaughter.
We do have to kind of, even though we're not happy with a lot of the sentences, we do have to acknowledge that a lot of these police officers for a long time was getting 100% acquitted. We're starting to see some officers here and there get something. I mean,
they've made example out of niggas for the longest.
Right. For the longest.
In everything. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
In everything, they've like, all right, we're gonna slam this shit on him. So all these niggas know, like, hey, this shit ain't going down here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Do that shit with the cops too. You know what I mean? And I bet you cops start falling in line if they start seeing it. That's the way you make the changes. Yeah. So the changes ain't even necessarily with the damn police departments. It's with the
justice system.
The justice system. You know what I mean? So
we need hard sentences for the shit. Hard accountability.
So my stance is Derek Chauvin needs a hard sentence. What do I think he's gonna get, and what I think he should get, and what would be best is if they both got the book slammed on them. Chauvin and Potter. Kim Potter. They need the book slammed on them. That's what I would see.
I agree.
I think eventually somebody needs to be made an example.
And that's what we don't see.
These are
judges
people's
I
lives.
don't think you're gonna see the books. But, I mean,
the problem is that they're held to the same standard that we're held to. In my opinion,
it'll lead up to it.
They should be held to a higher standard. If a cop kills somebody unjust, then they should be held to a higher standard. You know.
Last thing while we're on this, we're gonna get on one more little bag here, but we kind of brought it up, but the Virginia soldier being pulled over.
Yeah.
And the officer, the the lieutenant. He challenged the police officers. I think he was well within his rights. Everything that he did was it was damn near even still respectful. You know what I mean?
It actually was 100% respectful. Cool, calm, and collect. Didn't call nobody their name.
Police officers acting wild, saying all kind of weird shit. They fired him, whatever. He didn't die.
It's funny how they are quick to fire that nigga.
It's an example. Because it's hot right now, you know what I'm saying?
Which didn't that happened a long time ago, right?
I think it was December.
It's December.
Yeah,
the body cam just came up.
And they just
what did I want to bring this up? The dynamic between officer and soldier, is that shit dead now? Like the
That's
respect, you know what I'm saying? Because cops, soldiers are more respected than officers.
Yeah.
So
but he was black though.
So yeah, he was what, Latino, Afro-Latino?
It was clear he didn't respect this nigga. He wanted to make sure he emasculated him, made him feel like a bitch.
And that's even another thing, you know what I'm saying? Like,
even when he was being respectful, he still said, "You're gonna be a bitch on camera, nigga."
You could serve the country, you know what I mean? You could be a cop, you could be a judge, but at the end of the day, you know, you're still a nigga.
Could be a president.
Could be the president.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
only if you light skin, right? You know what I mean?
They gonna never let no dark skin, no Boosie type nigga.
You said Boosie? Get a cut. What if we had like a Shannon Sharp ass president? You know what I'm saying?
Come on,
like, come on. Nah, that shit ain't gonna pass. You know, that'd be the day. That'd be a president I could trust.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
for sure.
That's what we need for presidents, man. We just need people like that. They don't, like I said, their job isn't. They don't really do a ton. So I mean, you just need somebody like that in there.
Yeah, but I get tired. I can't get ready, niggas. But before that,
shit, yawning and shit.
Yeah, man, kids and shit.
Yeah, be like that.
I don't know. We've kind of touched on everything that I wanted to touch on. Is there any points or any things that y'all wanted to make?
No, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucked up, man. Something's got to change. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I have the answers, but something's got to change, man. You know, whether it be sentencing's more severe.
I think that's the change. That's the first thing that we can see. We need severe punishment.
Yeah.
Severe punishment for these actions, man, because this shit is really.
I pray to God, I really do, that the Chauvin trial, man, that they just.
It's gonna be bad for a lot of people if that doesn't go the way it needs to go.
I can't imagine. I just can't picture a scenario where like he doesn't. I know it's not.
How does that?
Us,
what does that make you feel though? You being a white man, the Chauvin trial. What does that going wrong? What does that mean to you then?
Yeah, I mean it's just further evidence that the system is just completely.
The police can do whatever they want.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I think that to me,
it's evidence that the system is racist.
What Daunte, he's scared. He doesn't trust police, right? So when we don't hold them accountable, then that situation is just going to happen again. Yeah, I mean, should he have ran? No, he should not have, or should he have resisted? Whatever you want to call it. But that doesn't. I can somewhat understand maybe as a 20-year-old why you would be. We talked about this already, but why you would be maybe scared in that situation. You know, whereas if you hold these police accountable, then
less likely to have those situations.
Yeah, maybe. You know, if you know,
more careful.
So.
This Chauvin thing is really important that they get it right, because this shit is really the gold ticket, because.
And that's what I mean, happening on the heels
this
of
this is
another
the truthfully
incident.
All these other ones, I guess I hate it, but they could say, oh, you know, Eric Garner was 400 pounds, so he was gonna kill us. We don't have none of that with this one. We don't have it. This is the first one. We don't have none of that bullshit that they tried on every other case. It doesn't exist. This is the most indefensible shit I've seen ever, probably.
Yep.
I mean, it's the best evidence. I mean, so if they don't do this one right, it's really gonna tell you everything you need to know, and we're really in trouble if they don't get it right. Big time.
Matt, do you think Minnesota is gonna spark the change in the justice system?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
So what do you think that's gonna happen with these trials?
What do I think is gonna happen with these trials?
I mean, I don't think he's gonna get off. I mean, for everything that I've seen so far, it looks like Sean's.
But wouldn't that be a spark then?
No, I don't think it's gonna change.
Because you think it's gonna be light?
As the system goes, it's just gonna be this single trial, and then everything else will be separate from it.
So you think he might get hit, but other cops ain't gonna get hit?
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna have much of an impact on future trials. No, I don't think the justice system is set up that way.
Listen, some people would say this nigga's a pessimist, but what I call it is a realist. He's telling the truth.
Who, Matt?
Yeah, he's telling me.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well,
that's all I gotta say.
We can skip off to that. Well, let's like hit a little sports thing real quick. We only got a couple things left. I'm gonna get rid of you niggas. Kyrie Irving. So this is kind of interesting while we're still dabbling with the race. So he got ejected from a scuffle with Schroeder, and it came out, or at least he's making it seem like Schroeder called him nigga, and he was like, I ain't call me no fucking nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, took it back to the shit, you know, saying that nobody should say the N word, it's destructive. Can you pull up the tweet, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
So Kyrie Irving basically took a stance on the use of the N word. Was it Twitter or?
I don't know what it was, but
Kyrie Irving feels it's time to throw out the N word, throw the N word out the window. Anyways, his tweet stated, go down a little bit further. The N word is a derogatory racial slur.
What are we doing here?
X that thing right there. It will never be a term of endearment. You know, that's, you know, niggas, that was, that's the bag. It's a term of endearment, you know. Reclaimed, flip, never forget its foul and true history. Throw that N-word out the window right alongside all those other racist words used. We are not slaves or niggas. So, it's crazy because I use the word nigga fairly often.
A lot of us do.
And I have used it as a term of endearment. And I think that's why sometimes white people want to say that word nigga. Because it's like the cool word in the club, and it is that word. It is a term of endearment. And they're like, shit, I want to be, you know, I'm your nigga too. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get white people that just want to say it. You know what I mean? But I personally agree with Kyrie, even though I'm the last person that should. You know, I do believe for some, I mean, to me, I also believe it's just a word. I've been called nigger. It doesn't necessarily bother me because I don't feel too attached to the word in a negative way. You know what I mean? I will admit, I have before as a young kid, because I felt I was supposed to be disrespected. I was supposed to feel disrespected and hurt by that word that I was. But as I got older, literally it makes me laugh. I actually caught a case for getting into a fight over the word nigger. I went to jail for the very first time in my life for being called a nigger.
Because you slapped a nigga, right?
So, yeah. I slapped a bitch.
Oh yeah, it was that. Yeah, anyway.
And it was a white woman, so they just threw me in jail. You know what I mean? But I'm not sure if I should have put that out there, but
you can edit that out.
It is what it is. I mean, you can find it.
But yeah.
But anyways, I went to jail for that. Literally just slapping a bitch. You know what I mean? Like, young kid, they let me out. It wasn't the end of the world. But that word hurt me at that time, you know?
At that time, right.
I was 19, whatever. But now as I got older, I really don't feel attached to the word. I don't feel like I can be hurt by that word anymore. And I call myself, I catch myself saying it to my son every now and then, but then I really be like catching myself like, oh no, I ain't really calling him a nigga, you know, like. So,
do you curse
in front of my
at
son?
your kids, or you curse at him?
Probably rarely, you know what I mean? Like, why are you doing that shit, maybe, you know what I'm saying?
But you be kind of conscious of like how you talking to him and not saying
Definitely.
too much hard like you would talk to me or some shit.
I think it would be for the best for future generations to not use the N-word.
Listen, man, I hear what he's saying. I guess he's right.
You gonna stop saying it though?
When I feel like it. I don't give a fuck what Kyrie talking about. I don't look at it necessarily. I agree with what he's saying. I understand what he's saying, but I don't look at it that way currently. And I say the fucking word, and it is what it is. So, Kyrie, go ahead and do what you do. And I notice a lot of niggas that's following suit whatever Kyrie say in the NBA. And,
I actually don't like Kyrie because he's just a little annoying and slightly femmy.
It's big time feminine bitch shit that's going on, and the NBA period is really turning salt more and more. We've been saying this for a long time, but it's getting bad. I don't know if I may not continue to watch this shit if it continues to go down this path with this bitch ass shit going on. I don't agree with it. So. This nigga was over here missing a gang of games and doing all this type of shit. The young niggas is taking to that. Shit? I don't want to hear nothing about that shit, nigga.
What's your take, Matt?
Nigga.
With man, I guess I got a couple of takes. One, Kyrie. Coming from Kyrie, I don't give a shit what he says because the stuff that he's said and done in the past. He's either extremely unintelligent or the trolliest troll ever. Which means I don't care what the fuck he says.
Right.
Yeah.
B, I mean, he's not wrong with the statement, you know what I mean? But still, it's like it's from Kyrie, so shut up, Kyrie.
Shut the fuck up.
But, I mean, to your point, like, to be honest with you, like I said, he's right, but at the same time, I also feel like if you let words hurt or even affect you in a certain way, that's weak to me. Like, you're right, it's just a word. Like, it's not...
The definition of
not everybody thinks the way I think, though. I'm gonna tell you that.
I mean,
the masses especially don't.
No, I know they definitely don't. I'm just letting you know I agree with you. I think it's weak if you let words affect the way you feel. But I mean, he's like I said, he's not wrong. But my initial thought when I heard him say that was, shut up. I'm pretty sure there was a video. Wasn't there a video of him? Didn't he say it in that video when he was in? You probably know more than anybody. When he was in Boston and somebody said, "Hey, where's LeBron?" Didn't he say, "Suck my dick"?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure he probably uses that word on a fucking regular basis, and he's just saying the shit.
I'm gonna tell you what. If you black, and you, especially if you playing sports, it's a high likelihood with the shit talking that goes on. You say a nigga.
Yeah, like he said it earlier that game. I almost guarantee.
You got Timberwolves games in the '90s. KG's ass.
Oh, KG,
come on, man. You can even go to Timberwolves games. You can watch. You can watch it on TV and hear him through the speaker, through the mic on the thing.
So
we don't have shit like that no more. It's going away. Niggas is just not tough. I don't like this shit.
Last time I'll poke at you for this one, Matt, but like, you obviously got a mixed son. This may come up for you. The nigga word.
Yeah.
How do you plan on handling it? Are you gonna handle it?
Probably
do you
not.
feel like it's not even a place for you to step
in? It's not, like I said, I don't. You're right. It's probably not even my place to say anything. But to me, like I said, I don't feel like. I feel
it's
like
your son, though. You're a man. You're responsible.
Yeah, but I'm gonna hope, or at least I don't know if teach him's the right word, but to feel that way where you can't let words affect you in any way. So I don't really care what he says or how he talks. It's just I feel like if you let words affect you, it's a sign of weakness.
Gotcha.
But he also has to be taught that.
Anything on that?
Yeah,
or you
he's got to be programmed that way, right?
Not programmed.
I'm staying out of this conversation. I'm not touching this one.
It's not no white man's place to be talking on the N-word. All right, look.
I'm touching this one.
Couple things and we out of here. Nas, Coinbase. What happened here? Anybody? What's the actual thing? You want to pull it up, Matt?
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
Sounds like Nas is making
I saw it. I didn't look at it.
Sounds like Nas done hit another little jackpot and cashing out on Coinbase IP.
Nasty Nas.
Says he's about to come up 100 million. Do you think this is legit information?
I don't know.
It's just another form of Bitcoin. Yeah.
This might not even be the article, bro. This looks like 2014.
Yeah.
That's 2014.
Well, shit, that's the start of it, man. We need to read that one.
Just look up Nas. Right there. Go down. Right there. Yeah, Nas done had his hand in everything. It looked like he's really trying to compete with your boy Jay now. Like,
yeah, I'm happy to see these guys, man, doing some real shit with their money. You know.
I feel like Nas is just so much better with it than Jay-Z. Everything, he's just so much classier, much more.
Think so?
Much more honorable. Like
Why you say
Jay-Z
that?
has a.
Hold on. Who do you like better as a rapper?
Nas.
Okay.
Jay-Z had
right.
a.
Just wanted to preface that.
I don't know if he's more honorable and more
Who
this
do you
like.
think's a better rapper?
I
Nas?
definitely think he has more integrity than Jay-Z, for sure.
You think Jay-Z would just
I could see why you would say
partner
that.
with anybody?
I think he's more of like a demon businessman. Not like he's saying he do bad business, but like he's definitely.
It's all about the money. Doesn't care about nothing
Yeah,
else.
he's definitely
All
making,
about him.
and about him making money moves. You know, Nas, even with their music, if you just listen to their music, like you could tell Nas understood his responsibility with music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why you
His
gotta. I
influence.
know I can be what I want to be. Type. You know, music for children. Music. He also got in his shit, but he definitely was way more like spiritually connected with his music, and like I feel like you could just I named my daughter after him, you know, because I felt like he was a parent to me, damn near, you know what I mean? And I felt like my infatuation or the importance that I place on having honor, part of that comes from him, you know. I feel that way. So, but anyways, that's.
I know you're a diehard Nas fan, so.
But it's not even more so like the music. Like the music is the music, but it's really the character. His character.
Character.
It's him.
I see what you're saying. I agree with you on that.
And I don't ever want to meet him because hopefully he don't fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? So.
And we hear about that all the time. So.
But anyways, it looks like he invested in Coinbase in 2013. Could be anywhere. It's about to go public, and it says he could, you know, land anywhere between 35 and 174 million once that happens, and I believe that happened Wednesday.
We don't know how true this is, right?
So when they say something like this, Ryan, between 35 to 174 million, why is there such a big difference in the gap of the money?
Yeah, just depending on how much value, like what he owned or what he bought back in 2013, how much value it has today. So that valuation could.
So his specific shares value.
Correct. Yes.
So why are different shares being valued differently?
Yeah, well, they're all valued the same, but it just the more people that buy it. So like when you know, if you sell something to me and I buy it from you for $1, and then Matt buys it from me for $2, and then, you know, like the more people that buy it, typically that price will go up. So if
he bought it early,
bought it early at a really low price, well, before it was available to the public, and this I believe went public today. So a lot of people were buying it, and basically the price just kept on getting driven up.
Yeah.
And if the price, depending on what that price ended at today, it could be.
So it depended on how popular it was when it went
Yeah, a
public,
demand basically.
Is
So
this saying that he's cashing out then?
No, it's just this is probably his value. So he probably put in. I think it shows how much he put in.
It would be he would cash out if he sold his stocks, right? Though.
Yeah,
Basically.
if he were to cash out,
Sold
but I
shares.
doubt that he would do that. So basically, the way it works is when something goes public, it's what they mean by that is the public can buy it. Any individual investor can buy it. Any of us could go on our apps and we could purchase this. Well, the more people that purchase, the more expensive that price becomes.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the price goes up high enough, then that's kind of where you get that range.
So that was probably their estimate.
That was
so
an
if the
estimate
price
they
goes
had.
up high enough, the higher the price goes up, then he gets paid.
It could be more than 174 in a week,
The more,
a month
the more
from now.
shares
So-
they sell, the more valuable his shares become, right?
The more people that want to purchase them, yeah.
It says Coinbase will be valued at over 100 billion.
Right.
That's the one. That's
the whole thing, right?
Well, that's this one investment that he invested in. Yes, it's Coinbase. Yeah, it's a type of cryptocurrency.
He
So
doesn't own that. He just owns shares in that.
He owns a portion of
See,
it.
and that's kind of fucked up because motherfuckers like Nas have a way more of an advantage in the game than somebody like us just sitting on the couch.
Yeah, that's a big thing with investing is that
Private investing.
They call it institutional investing. So like, if somebody who has like a large sum of money, like you couldn't have bought this in 2013,
Right.
unless you're putting up millions. They're not giving any of it to you. But what these companies will do is they'll get large sums of money. You know, I'm trying to build this company. I need
They probably look for people like that too, right?
Yeah, exactly. I need $100 million. Right. Well, I'm going to go to these 10 people, get 10 million from each.
Yeah.
And then, have them have a portion of my company.
Right. They're not coming to find us.
No.
Sitting out here.
So it's just good to see Nas succeed, man.
Well, I think any of these guys, man, I mean, they just put their money in something that's that is gonna pay dividends. I mean, look, we're talking 8 years, and he's who knows how much he put in, but he can make a lot of money off of it.
Would you cash out right away, or would you keep that in there?
I'd have to know more about.
So you'd have to listen to your advisors or whatever, right?
Because I'm thinking like, ooh, I'd cash out and just make different moves.
The problem is a lot of times when you're an early investor like this, there's restrictions on it. You're not allowed to. So you have to hold it for a certain period of time. Because think about it, if it was worth $170 million because everybody drove the price up and then everybody sold, well, now that price is just going to drop right back down. It's not going to be worth anything. So, yeah, there's certain restrictions behind all this about if you're an early investor, one of these institutional investors, you're not allowed to just cash out right away. You got to hold the money. So.
That makes sense. It's crazy because this motherfucker just won a Grammy too.
I know, man.
So he's out here dropping music. He's out here dropping music, dropping little $100 million little investment. You know what I'm saying?
Coming up in the world again.
It's important.
Like that's kind of a big deal, bro. Like, cause
inspiration.
Like Jay-Z obviously is doing this, but Jay-Z's not really dropping projects no more. He's dibble-dabbling here and there. You might hear a verse or something. You know what I'm saying? But Nas is technically an active rapper, an active artist. He's fresh off of a Grammy win. He might be the first person to ever be like, I mean, I guess we could maybe Kanye. But this is different because this is like an investing thing, you know? He's the first like ever active artist that's also a star celebrity in the investment world.
Yeah, I mean,
so I think
you still have to put Jay in that situation too, though.
Jay's doing but he's not really doing music though.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been doing shit like this for a while. I mean, he was investing in.
I think he was in music when he started doing it, right?
Well, no, I mean, he had.
I feel like he was just making deals though.
But that's the thing is, it's really the same thing. I'm gonna like, for example, he purchased part of the Nets, right? It was the Nets, right? Wasn't it? A small portion. We'll say 1% of it. Well, when he put in on the Nets, they were worth $100 million. Or we'll say 200 million, whatever it is, and when they were sold for $2 or $3 billion.
Right.
So it's like
it's
even though that may
not
be that's still an investment for him.
No, I get that.
So
I get it.
I know you're just trying to kind of,
but it's active.
Hate on Hov a little bit. I get it. It's all right.
What you having on his
You know a nigga likes Jay-Z when they call him Hov. You know what I'm saying? That's funny.
Jigga.
But nah, bro.
It's good to see all these guys doing this.
I think it's good because kids are still seeing this. The young aspiring artists are still seeing this. You know, they're still seeing
it. It is important. Like, they
so
setting
he's
examples.
Still being an influence, just like Jay-Z is, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the right kind
musically
of
and business wise. So I think that's great for hip hop. Like if we could get more of that. Hip hop, I think the music is getting smart. As much as I talk shit, the artists are becoming more intelligent.
Yeah.
I feel like it needs to be more public. It needs to be. Obviously, we're seeing this transformation in like 21 Savage. Like, he can even get more public with it. Like, let's hear it in the music a bit more. Let's hear it. You know what I'm saying? Because
I think they're struggling to find that balance where they can intertwine that shit into their music. Cause he has his type of music he make.
This goes back to social media, man. I'm telling you, it's the fucking root of all evil. It's like I want to show all over Instagram that I got a new car, a new chain, all this shit, man. I don't want.
They're saying it's creating higher levels of narcissism than.
I don't agree with none of that. I don't agree with you, niggas. Our first response is to shit on the social media. It's not all bad.
No, it's not all bad. Just like internet's not all bad. They say internet's the beast. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying it causes a lot of the issues.
It can be abused. It can be used to do different things that are bad. But I don't think that it's mostly doing that. I just don't.
Well, people are aware of social media's power, so you got different people doing different things, and it's really the people. But Matt, and just with social media, I know y'all want to talk about this, especially Taurus. Somebody used social media, took a moment, got viral, it sounds like. What happened with Cudi?
Oh. Oh, man, that fit, man.
Did you like that fit? Pull it up real quick.
I was interested to hear what Matt thought about it because he's on record as saying he's anti niggas wearing dresses and
I'm 100%
thongs and women's clothes. So I wanted to hear it. And this is one of your man's man. That's your man. So
that's David's background.
That's your boy. So I was like, damn.
So David enlightened me on why he did it.
This ain't even the worst thing that Kid Cudi's done. Like
so hold on, let's pause. Let's give some context to it. So he says, he was on SNL. He was the performer at the end of the SNL, right?
Yeah.
And he wore a dress.
Yep.
For the performance.
And part of Off-White collection by
Virgil.
By your boy Virgil.
Yeah. It's not my boy. I don't want nothing to do with it.
And he said it was a.
Well, David, I guess I didn't hear him say it, but David.
So it's
David went ahead and defended this shit to the core.
Month,
yeah.
And.
Also, Kurt Cobain. This is like a tribute to Kurt Cobain.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
So and Kurt Cobain is one of his favorite artists.
Dress for when he wore.
He just did it. I don't know why. That was his thing.
And that's the thing. I get paying homage to somebody, but I mean, you don't got to pick the most sus thing that they did to pay homage to him.
Yeah. Well, it's homage and
what else did Nirvana? I mean.
And awareness too.
He could have wore a Kurt Cobain T-shirt or something.
This isn't the first time he's paid homage to them though. Like, he's got songs and covers and shit that he's done on a lot of his albums that are basically.
But he can keep doing that without wearing a dress.
Nirvana covers and shit.
Yeah.
No, I get it. He's done worse shit than this. He's acted in movies and kissed niggas before. You know what I'm saying? Like it's.
That's not worse. That's acting in movies.
If you're telling me
this is something he chose to do, that's in the script.
So now what are we talking about here though? Because now we're getting into sexuality here.
Yeah.
And the rights and wrongs and whatever we feel. So if you're telling me him playing in a movie and acting as a gay man and having an on-screen kiss with another man,
nigga,
then what? Why is this even something that? Why is this even something that we're talking about then?
Because this is something that he chose on his own to do.
He chose to get into a movie acting as a gay character and kiss a man.
Yeah.
Right, but that's what the script is.
Being an artist there's a lot of showmanship and acting in that too. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
So.
It's true, but I mean.
So are we putting this up there with the Lil Pump nails, and we're putting this up there with the Lil Nas X? Lap dances?
Probably.
I don't know if I'm putting it up there with that.
I just don't get why he's doing this at this point in his career. What the fuck are you doing, nigga?
He's somewhat making a...
What is he? What?
Comeback, you talking about?
He's kind of making a little... He's kind of getting himself back in the game, bro.
It's what it take.
I don't... Yeah, I get...
It does.
It does. We're seeing that.
Need to do this.
We're seeing that. No. We're seeing that. And that's why I say, like, mainstream. Cudi's done more than enough positive shit musically where like it's hard for him to fuck up in my book because of so much of the positive shit that he's already done.
That was going to be my question. Something like this from him obviously resonates a little differently than it does from like Lil Nas X or Pump or something
just
like that,
because
right?
I know, and the intentions are totally different, you know? Like he actually had a purpose for his. I get with the whole thing of putting black men in dresses in Hollywood or whatever. I mean, this could fall right in line with that. You know what I mean? The whole conspiracy on that.
But he was celebrated for this, wasn't he? I mean, like
he's definitely going to be celebrated for this.
It's 2021.
Well, that's the problem. It's always going to be the look is going to be good if you any man that put a dress on.
Right.
You think
for the majority.
Put a dress on look good?
I'm saying the look that they get from it is usually positive. Which is funny to me, but
he definitely looks goofy. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see the performance. Maybe I'll check out the performance. You know what I mean?
It doesn't make me anti-Cudi in any way, but I'm anti this decision.
I'm just confused. What is
regardless
he doing?
of who it is.
I don't care about.
Yes, exactly.
It actually didn't bother me. Like the Lil Nas X thing bothered me. The Lil Pump getting the damn nails on it just felt gross. You know what I mean? It just was like, bro.
Because their reasoning behind it is totally different, right? So it's like they're on some other shit.
It's just weird. You know what I'm saying? This is also left field, but they've all done it.
I'm cool.
Your favorites have done it. You know what I'm saying? You fucked with with Martin. He did it.
I don't compare this to Martin actually.
But they all did it. He dressed up as a woman. You know what I'm saying? Got freaky deaky as an old woman. You know.
You feel me?
It's an old big mama. Come on now. Who else? They have all done it.
Tyler Perry.
Let's not even talk about.
I still think it. I'm with Taurus, where I think this is still a different situation. But
it's like, what is it that you don't like about it?
You mean other than the fact that he's a dude wearing girls' clothes?
I've done it.
Okay.
You have?
Where was that? What's that?
Just T-shirts. You know what I'm saying?
But like, again, that doesn't make me anti-Gaines. It just makes me anti-Gaines' decision on that.
No, because I looked fly in that though.
Why was you wearing women's clothes, my nigga?
Because it was a dope shirt.
But it was a women's clothes.
I'll show you the picture right now, bro. You wouldn't even known it was a woman's shirt, but I did it. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought the shirt fitted me dopely, and I found it at the fucking thrift store.
Look, man, but wear what you want. I mean, I don't really. I mean, it's whatever. I don't really give a fuck.
You're right. I'm not losing sleep over it, but I just, like you said, it's left field. He could have went a little less left. You know.
Yeah, if he did it for with awareness and all that shit, cool. I'm not gonna.
Well,
you're right. Wear what you want, do what you want. Sometimes I question niggas' motives behind
is a woman's shirt.
What their reasoning is. I don't want to be understanding. Yeah, that's definitely a woman's shirt. But yeah, go ahead and say it.
Yeah, but it's dope though.
Oh, I've seen this picture before.
Yeah, so you know.
Can't really tell.
I mean, it's not super obviously a woman's shirt. That's a lot different than that.
It is. It's being a little conservative, I guess.
Conservative
with it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. This ain't the end of the world. I know Cuddy's out here slaying females. You know what I'm saying?
No, we don't know that. So
it's been a couple that have come out.
If he's not, are you gonna have a problem with it?
And he's already addressed this.
And
one of he's like, I wore a kilt. They think I'm gay. But if you knew about all the females I done slayed, then. Or you can ask them and see what they say, you know. So it's like.
Is that what he said?
In that he said basically that in slightly different words.
Funny how he thought he has to explain himself about this.
Because he wore a kilt before. It's already done.
Which is male clothing technically, so.
And it's a dress.
It's suspect clothing. I don't care.
Yeah.
But hey, everybody do what y'all do. You feel me?
Anyways, that's all I really got. If y'all ain't got nothing else, then I'm pretty much cool with wrapping it up. I had some other things that I want to talk about, but we're just gonna move them to the next episode. Again,
let's do it.
It's the 8th episode. You know what I'm saying? Getting better, evolving. Got deep.
We're gonna keep going.
Keep it moving. Subscribe, like, tell your friends, tell your mom. You know what I'm saying? Tell your girl, tell your guy. If he wears a dress, you know what I'm saying? Tell him check it out. Talking. But that's all I got. I'm about to get them up out the crib. Aim for the bushes, you know what I'm saying? And that's all I got. Peace out. Fly as a motherfucker. I forgot to tell y'all, but I'm fly. We know it. Or did I say it?
You forgot to say that?
Oh, I said it, didn't I?
I think you might have said it.
Nice.
A couple times.
All right, we out.
Peace.